Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's a Long Story, a
a world set where we have 4 campaigns sitting in the same beautiful, amazing world that is known as Imea. We are here with our crew, the Unearthed Arcanum. Everybody take a look at the camera, wave, and say hi.
Hi.
Sweet. I'm very excited for I'm very excited for tonight. I'm excited every night, but I'll be honest, I'm actually especially excited tonight. Depending on how far you guys get. You guys might get it to the end. We'll see. So before we get into our recap of what we are dealing with these crazy peeps here, we're going to do just a couple announcements. So up front, first and foremost, Tales of Imea The Isles is officially underway. We've had 2 sessions so far with a group of 5 individuals, one of which is every time right down there. Joining us in a completely different character. But for those who are, first off, for those who are unfamiliar on what you're looking at right now, like I said, this is a one of many campaigns, 4 to be exact, that are set in the homebrew world of Imea, a high fantasy, in some cases gritty fantasy realm filled with magic, kings, queens, Fey, Wild, Shadowfell, Changelings, Fairies, and a lot of introspection. In the most recent iteration, we have a version that just came, that we just started a few sessions ago, that is dealing with what is south of South Imea, in a world that is, or in an area that is just titled The Isles. We have right now 5 players who have just started going through things, which means that we need 1 more. So if you're interested in joining this crew in a voyage that is truly built into the realms of a pirate or sailor-like mentality with ships, islands, tropical stuff, ruins, crazy timey-wimey stuff, sylphs, gods, all the normal and awesome high fantasy stuff that we're part of. Please join us. So that will be in if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see that in the video description and all the links to all of our possible campaign stuff. But I will also be putting it in the private chat here to be sent to, should be sent to all 3 things. Oh wait, no. Yeah. Can't post comments to some destination. Okay, that's fine. So that's just going to Twitch and, oh, I did that backwards. Whoopsie daisy. Going to Twitch and YouTube in the private chat. So what I just put in there was the link for Tales of Imea the Isles. So if you're interested in possibly joining our little crew, there's the page for all that information, details, and things like that. If you're wanting to know more, feel free to reach out to me in the various social media links that we'll post here in a second. Last but not least, so I've been saying that we're going to be playing this out until the end of December, but I'm actually going to tell you guys that we literally only have 1 more session of our Steinheit's Guide to the Eldritch Hunt. That will happen this Sunday night. So for those who are interested in playing, please feel free to jump in. If you have not played a Steinhardt game yet, it will be free. In the idea that it will come back probably soon. My hopes is to be at least a year, if not more so from that. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a full campaign in that realm. We'll see. But for those who are not familiar with what Steinhardt's Guide is, if you are familiar with Dark Souls, Bloodborne, and all the kind of like Souls-like games, Elden Ring a little bit, this is in that taking that sort of concept and pushing it into D&D 5e playstyle stuff. So we have brand new subclasses, brand new spells, brand new races, sub-races. You can be a Demidrich. You can be a version of someone who is living in has galaxies living inside of them. There's a huge explanation there, and Clinton has galaxies living inside. Well, I mean, we all do if we get deep down into it. Wow, what a tangent. Anyways, so we did have the pleasure of actually having one of our own here who got to play their first version of Steinhardt's Guide. Kiki, can you please tell me in your own words, unless they're bad, then just don't speak. But what did you think of the game?
I thought it was a lot of fun. I would have definitely liked to do more of a campaign. I think there's a lot of really interesting aspects of and features of these new races and subclasses that can be explored over time. I feel like once was not enough.
Yeah.
So you need to do more.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the plan. It's on there. 100%. Yeah, cool. So thank you that. Yeah, so like I said, new subclasses, new spells, new feats. There's a whole madness system that's built in that I really love. I think it's really cool. So if you are interested in joining, come join us Sunday. It'll be the last one we do for the year, at least. And it's a good time. I know we have at least one booked for that day, so you won't be alone. Yeah, the only thing I would say is that if this would be your first foray into D&D in general, I would say this might not be for you, as it can be a little bit crunchier of a game. But if you're curious, feel free to ask me. I mean, we can at least kind of talk through and walk through how it would be different and yada 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 yada. So that's that. Cool. And last but not least, unfortunately, we did have our new person that we had signed up for Shadows of the North Shore did have to jump off, which means even more so. Good Lord, please, everybody, somebody, Shadows of the North Shore is coming to it's coming to you guys as soon as we find enough players. For those who are having no idea what I'm talking about, there is a game that recently came out called Candela Obscura by the friends at Darrington Press and Critical Role. It is a cosmic horror game designed in a system that is truly one of the easiest dice systems I've ever used, allowing less rules and more rule of cool, more like kind of like yes or no sort of answers to things, as well as just creative ways of being able to solve things at the same time. So deeply introspective, really fun, really dark. So if you're into the like kind of dark, sort of like an answer to like a Call of Cthulhu, but maybe with a little bit more freedom, this is the game for you. The difference of the reason why we call it Shadows of the North Shore is because we have our own homebrew setting for that. We took Candela Obscura and we put it into more of a real world setting, setting it into the year 1901 in a little place that is near and dear to my heart in North Shore, Massachusetts. So we did have a playtest earlier in around September that we did a 3 session. So if you're interested in watching that, that is on YouTube under Shadows of the North Shore. If you check like our playlists or videos, they'll be on there. That was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people actually join in for that as well. So you can kind of watch more of them as we really dove into the RP stuff. So yeah, we were wanting to continue that process as we're wanting to continue that story. Very much so. But we need right now we only have one lonely player. Yeah, and we need more. So please take a look at it. Feel free to ask me any questions if this seems like the game that you want to kind of get into. If you feel like Dungeons and Dragons maybe has too many rules, or whatever version of a tabletop game you're playing that you feel like kind of just guarded and bogged down by rules, or you wanted to play something that was going to have more of a real world setting, this is definitely the place for you. So that is that. I put that in the private chat as well. And last but not least, if you want to check out any of our social media stuff that we have, you can follow our Linktree, which has our TikTok, our Instagram, all that stuff. We post on there every once in a while of things that are updated and some cool like kind of scenery stuff. Yeah. And supposedly it looks like it might not be working. but we are in the midst of trying to, yeah, I don't see anyone on there, but we're in the midst of trying to push to Instagram Live as well. So this was our test. It doesn't look like it worked this time. I'll figure out what went wrong and try it again next time. But yeah, so we'll be also jumping in on that. And I think that's it on my end. So to give us the recap of where we left off, Evan, please take it away.
Hi. All right. Excuse me. So, last time, I mean, we're in these mysterious ruins in this cave that we kind of excitedly wandered into, but we're also chased into by dinosaurs. And so we were in the middle of a puzzle last time we started. We were in the middle of a room where the room was split in half by a kind of mirror surface, and there were floating spheres that if you touched, you got sucked in, and then you saw some version of yourself and you needed to answer questions, and we were having a lot of trouble with it. And Alistair had gone to the other side and he went down. Yori was just railing at the wall and smashing into it, and Nalani was helping to cover Ayo's escape from being surrounded by all these strange creatures that we couldn't kill, because if we kill them, their blood is activating the floor, which would have been bad. Each sphere only required a sort of simple answer, but still it was difficult for us to kind of figure it out. But I think with, a lot of the party helped in figuring out each section, and eventually Gwen traveled through all of them. We also got a sense, and I think it was mostly Gwen who got the sense that the puzzles themselves and the room itself was made by somebody. And again, we said it wasn't childlike, but maybe something whimsical, maybe even something Fey-like. So yeah. And then right before everyone was probably going to die, Gwen solves the last one, and the mirror wall comes shattering down at the same time as Yori is hitting it with a hammer, which, whether those two events are related causally, who knows? That's up to the viewers. Anyway, yeah, so we left that room and found our way into another chamber. We decided to take a small rest, and a few things happened. So Gwen and Alistair explored the room and the strange statues within there. Gutter had some sort of insight into the statue and then the carvings, but it was kind of hard to discern. Some connection between maybe the primordials and something about the mountain that walks, and possibly also the Fae there. Ayo sent messages through his book, and although he's not quite there yet, he's starting to kindle some suspicions about who is on the other side writing back. Whoever they were, they definitely wanted to know where we were, and they wanted him to return. Gwen finds some strange writing in Sylvan, and Yori helps translate that. It's a little bit weird. It's not the normal way Fae would talk in that language, but it's above the different exits and doors that are in the room, and each one of the doors says only the worthy can enter. And as I believe the others, and Gwen was looking at the symbols in the other room, Yori impulsively tries to experiment with the worthy door, puts an arm in, and is sucked in. The others resigned that that's where they were going, so they went in. And then all the while, Nalani was meditating and kind of alone in his world, and just casually had an existentially shattering revelation about his own memories and who he is. But, as usual, he hard carried it, opened his eyes, saw Aya's wet footprints, and followed through the door to find out what happens next. And that's where we're at.
Fantastic. Very cool. Awesome. Thank you for that. Okay. So for the rest of our crew, you all get sorry, 1 second. There we go. No, maybe not. You all get pulled off the path from where you are, and almost feel like you're so starting with Yori, and then but all you're all kind of moving along behind. You all get pulled off the path into what looks to be like you're going to be going through the ceiling itself. and then you are pushed through. You notice the ceiling itself gives way, and there's a bunch of swirling blue lights. As you are all jettisoning through this under this underground cave, you notice that say at least some of you notice as you're kind of like spinning in this, that the cracks that were present in from the previous hallway and the room before that had the glowing blue seem to be present here as they are spiraling through with you. And you all land on a platform as you all seem to poof into this area. I'd like you all to give me a perception check as I explain the basic surroundings. You all are dropping down onto this, what looks to be the end of a stone bridge. There's kind of a mess of rocks that are almost like seem to be like form fitted together into making this uneven ground beneath you. I will say the last one to come in, which would have been Nalani, you instinctively kind of like take a little bit of a step back and you hear the sound of a pebble moving from your shoe. You look back around and you see that there's an empty chasm below you. The little pebble kind of knocks off your shoe. You hear it hit a couple of the walls. You never hear it reach the ground behind you. What did we get on that perception check?
I got
15.
Got a nat
20,
20 for
or
a total of 24.
Nat 20, 15, 24, 10,
21.
21. Wow.
16.
16.
14.
14. Okay, cool. So everybody that rolled above a 10, you see that there is this giant obsidian obelisk of a wall in front of you, blocking the pathway, seemingly connected from wall to wall of this cavern. There is inscriptions that are written up way up above, about maybe, say from your vantage point, maybe about 90 feet tall, that seem to go all the way down to the bottom. This looks to be like this massive wall itself seems to have writing on it from top to bottom. What is interesting, for those who rolled a 15 above, you're actually seeing that the writing itself seems to do a couple of strange things. I shouldn't say writing, they're kind of carvings inside, but they seem to kind of shift in and out of focus, as if the rock itself is breathing in and out in certain places, pushing the words out from you. For those who rolled, we'll say just for Io on the nat 20, Io, you recognize a phrase here and there looking up at the wall. What is the languages you speak?
Deep speech, infernal, and I believe that's it.
Okay. All right. So you see there is, I think in deep speech you see the word mortal. In infernal you see the word locked. And they seem to kind of shift in and out. When we say from top to bottom, and the idea of like the words that are marked here, it looks like it would probably take you, if everything was kind of sitting in its normal sort of place, it would take you probably about a good solid like full day to read this from top to bottom, with how much the markings are on here. I'm gonna say also with the nat 20, Io, you notice that the wall itself is a very different texture than anything else you've seen in this cavern. So give me a nature check.
Okay. $15 on that.
15, nice, awesome. When I described the wall as obsidian, usually that's a common like sort of phrase of like the texture and the like the color and things like that. With a natural 20, you surmise, you see like a little bit of a shine and a gleam from this. And I'll say that when observing like things like the hells and whatnot, these are common things that'll appear from the essence of like what would be left over from lava, right? So in that regard, you snap back to that. I don't know why I just heard myself. Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, I did too.
Did you guys hear me too?
Yeah, that was
Probably
Tom. He's
came
just
from
working some stuff out.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, I heard myself again. I'm gonna mute you until. Yeah, cool. So when you're looking at this wall, you see this kind of like weird sort of sheen coming down it, and I'd say probably about taking a good solid maybe 20 seconds of inspection, but not even necessarily having to go too close to it. I'll say, do you feel the wall?
I would say I've reached out and try to touch it very gently.
Cool. Yeah, you touch the wall, you actually feel the words kind of moving away from your hand as there's it's not reacting to your hand, but it seems like that those moving sort of spaces in there. It is definitely obsidian.
Okay. With all of that, I think first person Io turns to is Gwen, but I think he also is motioning to get pretty much the whole group's attention, but probably Gwen and Alistair are the main two he's really focused on. And he just explains, he's like, so yeah, this thing is obsidian, but it seems to be enchanted. There's deep speech and infernal here too. Not to mention, nothing else in here is obsidian, so I'm thinking either this thing was here before everything else was, or the opposite. What are y'all's thoughts?
Gwen has a lot of them. Does it... I know this is giant. Does it resemble at all the other two that that she's seen so far?
No, I'd say this looks a little different.
Okay. Because I think one was white and one was black, but I don't remember the material off the top of my head or anything.
As far as the stone structure, I'd say it was actually probably normal, like kind of like a grayish sort of stone itself. I don't remember there being anything specific with that.
Yeah.
And as you guys are talking, you're actually hearing the like sound of like shifting rock, but almost like glass, right? Because that's sort of like weird sort of shifting sound as the letters are kind of moving in and out. Gwyn, what languages do you naturally speak?
Does anybody remember, because I can't and I didn't write it down, did I cast Comprehend Languages as a ritual last time? I know she got distracted before she got back Houston, but I don't remember about Comprehend Languages.
I don't
long
know
would
if
that
you
last?
did, because
Comprehend
Yori
Languages
was reading the Sylvan.
That's what I thought. So I don't think she got around to it. It lasts only an hour, so if I think I had it on before the short rest, I would have had to recast it. All right, so just going straight, common, draconic, infernal, and primordial.
Okay.
And she can recognize probably a dozen more, but not necessarily know them.
Right, yeah. Give me an investigation check.
Okie doke. I think as she's doing this, she'll go ahead and cast Borrowed Knowledge on herself, so she's got proficiency in investigation.
Okay.
Does this obelisk resemble the one in the ASMR village that we saw way early on?
I would say it's probably the same material.
Oh,
But
it
yeah,
is.
I would say it's
Okay.
probably obsidian. Yeah. Apologies if that was what you were asking.
It was, but I wasn't specific because she saw the one in Morakaba and the one in the ASMR village, and they were different. This is more like the ASMR village. Okay, cool. Good question. And I rolled a 15 for investigation.
Okay. With a 15, you are. I mean, I think you kind of nailed it with the idea of like just I recognize a lot more languages, but I don't really can't read them off the top of my head. You see languages that are actually represented all around here. Draconic, Infernal for sure, Sylvan, Abyssal, a few others that you're familiar with. It seems like this has been designed to be extremely difficult to read. You actually get the feeling too, if you were to cast Comprehend Languages on this, Comprehend Languages works in a way that it takes about a solid second to be able to have the words kind of make sense to you.
Sure.
You're not entirely sure whether you would have that here.
Yeah. And, it doesn't decode messages or anything like that. So couldn't see through that.
You do see, actually, I'm going to say with a 15 too, you do see that it looks like it's telling a story here.
Okay, that was going to be my next question.
Yeah, the words that you see marked along here, you see mountain. I'll say actually, because you just read it, you see mountain that walks. You see that kind of like moving in order there on that. You see there's also you see the draconic word for fire. 15 is enough to recognize that there's a story here that's being written, or that's been written, and I will say you taking maybe about a good solid, I'd say it takes about a full 5 minutes to recognize that the words that are coming in and out aren't changing. They're just shifting in and out.
Are they shifting in and out into different languages, or just like which ones you can see at one time are shifting in and out?
No, different languages. So it just seems like it's if like if we were to look at it as the word the, it looks like the word the is like appearing and disappearing.
Okay.
I think Yori is just kind of standing back, trying not to be noticed, as like obviously he accidentally pulled everybody through this door and they said nothing about it because of this giant thing in front of them that they're all distracted by. So I guess we're all worthy.
Roll me a wisdom saving throw, Yori. That brings me a very good point.
Oh boy.
Alistair just looks over his shoulder and glares at Yori.
Ben's like, why are we glaring? This is awesome.
21? Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. You're not sure for a second, but you look at Alistair and you see Alistair kind of like turning his shoulder over to look at you and kind of glaring at you. And for a second, you see everybody else turning and staring at you, giving that same sort of look. They all have Alistair's face. And then they're gone.
Horrifying.
Also, does this obelisk have an odor of any kind?
Interesting question. No. Give me a perception check based on scent.
Okay. That is a 19.
19? Nice. I'm going to say with a 19, you do smell... You smell the damp sort of cavernous smell. And I think the difference here is you smell like a... I think you smell a little bit of like sulfur.
Wow, I was that was like the tiniest stretch, but I think I'm actually going to mention that. And well, with this caveat, sulfur's often associated with the hells. Is that something that I would have studied and known about? I feel like I would have.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, Obsidian is it's tricky because the hells have a lot around them in reference to fire. So you're not wrong in that. But so does sulfur and obsidian would be in reference to fire as well. So the question is the question you're asking, is this deeming to hell itself, or is this in reference to just the effects of what there's materials that are surrounding the idea of fire and volcanic things.
Joe, after watching, go ahead, Clinton.
Because I was doing all the audio stuff, and I may have missed this. This is clearly this was a made pillar, correct? This isn't a natural thing.
Yeah, absolutely. This none of this looks natural. The ground below you looks very natural to it. This looks like it was put here. Cool.
So real quick, while everybody's discussing things, if I were to pull out one of my tools, it's square, correct? It has corners.
You don't see the corners because they're actually marked into the wall.
Okay. Can I try and chip a little rock out, like a golf ball size piece?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
What save do you need me to make?
I don't think there's any save here. I think go ahead and give me an athletics check.
My athletics is 60. Oh, okay, we're good. 24.
24. 24. That was your athletics check?
They're really good tools, Joe.
All right, got it. Cool. So with your athletics, you hammer down into it, and you actually feel this kind of little golf ball size piece of obsidian that comes out. You also see a crack start to kind of form, probably maybe no more than 10 or 12 inches from your face. And as soon as that piece comes out, you see the crack starts to, and the area that you took out seems to be replaced as if it was never there.
But I still have that piece in my hand?
Yes, you do.
Can I try and channel just the smallest amount of magical energy into that to see if it affects it at all?
How are you doing that? Give me a better. Give me more specific.
Sure. If I were to cast mending on it, but at the least amount of effort that I can put into it, gently hitting it with magic rather than a full-on spell.
Right.
I know there's not a mechanic for that in D&D. But...
Yeah, I think it's it seems to accept it. Doesn't seem to do anything.
Okay.
I have 3 follow-up questions to that.
Okay.
The piece that he chiseled out, did it have writing on it as he was chiseling it out?
I would assume no. I would assume you'd go for an area that didn't have the writing on it.
Yes, that.
Damn it, Clinton.
Listen, we can do that now that we know it heals itself, but in the beginning, I'm not going to deface the Mona Lisa or whatever.
I understand.
So, Nolani wants to know.
Well, Nolani just had a couple more questions.
Oh no, my follow-ups no longer.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Go ahead, Mitch.
So when you strike obsidian, it comes off in shards, sharp-edged shards. Nolani would know this because of his background in arrows and arrowheads and stuff like that. So when Clinton says golf ball size, I'm assuming they're called spalls. It's a spall taken off of an obsidian rock when you strike it, and does it have razor sharp edges to it, or I can't imagine it would be perfectly round.
Yeah, no, I would say like golf ball size, right? But the concept of the edges themselves, yeah, I would say they probably it's I think what Alistair knocked out with a 24 was probably something that does look um, oddly spherical in a way, but definitely has sharp edges to it.
Okay. Interesting. Alistair, what are you gonna do with that? Are you gonna keep that? What are you gonna do?
Yes. Yes, Nalani.
Can you would you mind getting me a couple pieces of that?
Spirit of our newfound group bonding, I will get you as many pieces as the number of times you have helped me skin a large beast that I specifically asked you to help me with. And I'll take a step back from the pillar.
Great. Is there a rock or anything lying around?
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's I'd say you probably have to kind of like pull them up. Something actually I would say you do notice in this realm.
God.
In this area here, there's nothing. There's no signs of life here. You don't see any like bones or anything of like clearly creatures that once existed and once was alive and were not here, nothing like that. So as you start to kind of like try to find a rock, you notice they're all kind of stuck into the ground. I'd say, I mean, a low athletics check to kind of like knock them out, but there's nothing here that seems to be like residual. You know what I mean?
So I'm gonna take my hammer out of my backpack and whack the obsidian edge.
Cool.
Yeah. Kind of at that conversation, Yori would also be walking up with his maul in hand going, I got it.
When is going to stop anybody before they...
I got a 1, so if nobody stops me, he's straight swinging the maul as hard as he can at the same point that Alistair cracked something off. So it's just trying to help.
Gwen fully interrupted on that, so I do think Gwen is actively trying to stop you.
Yeah, I think she would literally stand in front of the hammer, be like, no,
what? No. Okay.
Small pieces, with no writing on them. Probably okay.
How high does the writing go up? Is it higher than like
than
what I could read or anything?
Mm-hmm.
So if I mean, I can't read. You said it's like Draconic or something, right? Is it?
It's all the languages.
Although, well, if I fly up, can I see more of the kind of writing in the message? Is there like more of it as you go up? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna try and fly up and kind of read it. I think if I can, I would just be sort of yelling it out as I flew up. If I could, read it and translate it as I went.
Okay. Just to keep in mind, as I mentioned, the amount of writing here, if you could read everything clearly as possible, it looked like it would take probably about a solid day. That's how much writing.
He's going to go up a little, yeah. I mean, he's not going to go up the entire day's worth of flight. He'd probably stop after basically when he gets out of earshot of people, he's going to stop because there's no point in doing it after that. But he'll yell until he's kind of out of earshot. Or possibly,
I mean, it's only about 100 feet out, right? So it's so it's 100 feet up, but the writing is like small enough that the lines that are marked. on here
I see. Okay, yeah.
I'll yell up. See if you can find Sylvan anywhere.
Yeah, I think the Sylvan's mixed in with the Draconic. Like one word is Draconic, the next is Sylvan, the next is.
So it's not
primordial.
It's not like the Rosetta Stone or something where it's like one language and then another language. It's all like mixed together.
It's all mixed together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any sort of pattern to that? Like, does it go in order or is it just totally random? As the more I'm watching this, looking for patterns, not necessarily words.
Give me an investigation check.
Okay, come on, puzzle girl. 17.
17. It is completely random.
Okay.
With the 17, there's in the realms of like a mortal being able to read through all of this and then decipher what is needed to maneuver forward seems impossible in the realms of just reading through all of it.
Okay. Follow-up question, and then I'll let someone else go. Having observed this for so long and it's telling a story, am I able to determine, like, are there a linear page structure to this? Like the area that we can see, like, does it seem to go in order, like across 4 and then down a row, that kind of thing?
Yeah, good
Like,
question. I
know
would
how
say
that
like
works?
I think in some like in some languages that you know, and we won't go into specifics on there. Like some of the language are probably written vertically rather than horizontally.
Yeah.
All of this is written horizontally,
Okay.
even with the languages that would be typically written vertically.
Sorry, one more question.
No,
Can we
please.
determine, like, is there like paragraph structure, sentence structure? Does it seem to like match up? 'Cause Gwen's thought is, let's cheat our way through this, read the first and last page of each chapter, and figure out what's the important information.
With a 17, it is hard to determine if there is
Okay.
sentence structure here.
I'm going to mention it to Alistair because I know that he's better than me at puzzles. And then that will be me for right now.
It's just immense. If it's gonna take a day for us to look through this, then there's a shortcut somewhere. We have more information than we need, and we have to figure out what's the right information and what's
Yeah.
extra.
That's why if we could figure out where the story starts and where it breaks into sections, we could read the first and last part of them.
Do we hear any water at all? Is there water near us?
You don't hear any water. No.
If I empty my water skin on any of the writing, does it make any difference?
You see the as you kind of like push water into the onto the wall, as you see the pieces kind of come in and out. You see when the obsidian moves out, you notice that the water itself seems to be pushed out. So like anytime there's indentations of the water coming in, it's then pushed out. But it doesn't seem to make any other sort of
I'll
react
yell
anyway.
up to Yori to light a torch and hold fire to it. Maybe somebody else can blow on it. I'll throw some sand up there.
I assume that
Go
yeah,
ahead.
when you were cracking a piece of it, you touched it. Someone's touched it at this point.
Yeah.
What happens if I touch the words at all? Does that do anything? Or how does it feel to feel like the pulsing of the words kind of in and out when like I put my hand on a word?
Interesting phrasing for that question. I'm going to say, because of the phrasing of that, give me a perception check with advantage.
Okay. 13.
13. With a 13, you notice that the words seem to kind of move in and out. It's hard to decipher any sort of pattern that they're going through. But as you touch where the lettering goes in and out, you do notice that the speed seems to move a little quicker.
When I touch the letters, I don't know if something happens, but it seems a little bit. What if we all just like put our hand on the writing, like, you know, that's a thing, right? In like stories, everybody touches it and then it does something. Maybe it's dumb.
No, I like it.
Age you 50 years.
Yeah.
I slap my hand on the wall.
Yes, I think probably at the same time,
We all-
Alistair and Gwen do it.
Old age.
You
50.
slap your hand on the wall.
Well, gently.
I mean, it's gentle as somebody who's in a hurry to put their hand up there, because I want to feel what he felt. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got it. You feel the exact area where you're doing that. You actually notice the lettering seem to kind of move quicker. Same thing with Gwen, with everyone that as you do so. How many people are doing this?
I'm gonna glare at Nalani until he does it.
Instead of doing my hand, I'm gonna take out the shell and press the shell to the wall.
No.
Okay.
No.
You push the shell to the wall, unless unless Alistair's actively keeping him from doing that.
I mean, I would absolutely. I mean, he's far enough away I can't physically stop him, but I will definitely be shouting no. So it's up to him whether he wants to keep going or he hears
he
me.
sees it in time.
Why not?
Every time we have mixed two extreme sources of power, nothing good has come of it. The most recent time, you almost died.
I hate it when you're right. And then I think
Look,
at that point,
I know that we want to get through this, and I really want to get through this as well, but I'd like to do it in one piece. I know that you've never enjoyed the experimenting side of this, but can we just ask a few more questions before we shove world-altering powers into it?
I like the experimenting part. I just like it when, you know, the reaction actually happens and things go boom.
What do we put the book and the shell on it at the same time?
Okay, maybe we find the
You're not
controlled
helping.
variables first.
All right, fair. I think at that point he stows the shell a little begrudgingly and then hand as well.
You got it. Cool. As you put a fourth hand on the wall, I need all four of you to give me Constitution saving throws, please.
Fantastic. I love this.
Boy.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. Everybody give me a Constitution saving throw.
Ew.
Yeah, take
You're
that.
welcome. God damn it. I'm just trying to stay out of this.
Yeah, I mean,
With
I
my
understand.
plus
you were lucky
zero
not to touch
con.
walls.
Are you fucking kidding me? I hate you guys so much.
I got a nat
13.
20 for a 23.
I guess I'm your
That's-
counterbalance because I got a nat 1.
Oh, I got a
Amazing.
13. If that makes
I
you
got
feel
an 8.
I got a
I got
19.
14.
The two
14.
people who didn't touch the wall, too.
Great. Sorry. So one more time, those. Let's say. Well, let's ask this. Who rolled above a 15? Awesome. Both of you do take 2 points of psychic damage, but you are not. You are not dealing with this condition. The rest of you, you all hear this sort of weird as you put your. As Io puts his hand to the wall, we hear this big sort of, and when that happens, the whole entire cavern seems to shake slightly. You see pieces of rocks do seem to fall from the roof. Nothing big from that, but that sound, that deep sort of, is so like. Loud and pushes into like the pushes way past the volume that your ear can deal with at that level. Everyone except for Nalani and Alistair are now deaf.
Fantastic. Do we take damage too?
Mwah.
Yes.
Mwah.
You take 2 points of damage. Siobhan takes 4.
Oh, of course.
I take 1 because I'm resistant.
Real quick, so what just happened, is that different or similar or the same as to what happened to us when we first entered the cave and we hit the like magical veins with a pickaxe?
I'd say it's different.
Gwen, are you okay?
I feel like Gwen has been in enough cave situations now. Did that sound like some sort of cave-in or catastrophic event happening however far away, sound travels fast, blah, blah, blah?
Give me a nature check, please.
Okay. 17 again.
Okay. 17. Did not sound like anything you would hear in any sort of like from your investigations, or like the reason why I didn't have you roll an investigation check. This does not sound like anything that would naturally be inside a cave or even in the like puzzles that you've dealt with before, things like that. With a 17, you heard 2 distinct sounds. Boom, boom.
Like an explosion? Or something
Like-
falling from high up?
Like concussive sound? Like first and then a second one? Or
It
2
was-
different?
They sounded very similar.
With my 21 perception check from earlier, could I have told which way they are? Like if they came from different locations or same locations, or
I'm going to say with a 21 because, Siobhan, I think this would make sense for you. Give me... actually, as a 21 for the perception check, you know that it seemed to come from forward from your current position. But I would also like you to roll me a nature check with advantage.
okay, good, because I had that +0.
I imagine Gwen is probably walking around. Alistair's gonna be like trying to check her ears and whatnot because I know she can't hear. Is it a
Gwen
magical
is
thing?
absolutely shouting everything she's thinking right now, probably. But like on a delay. Answering questions. She thinks you're asking. Totally wrong.
I think when we initially got deafened, Io's probably been like, "Did anyone else feel that?" And you're just hearing him randomly say things. People who can hear.
Is Yori still trying to read up top?
Yeah, the other thing is like, was how much sound was in the cabin to begin with? Because like, I feel like, does he even know that he's deaf? Because there's not a huge difference between like if there was no sound there and now there's no sound. Like he might have heard his ears, but he might not know if he didn't say anything. I suppose he could just
Probably
think
doesn't
that
hear
his
the
ears
flapping of his own wings anymore.
I think
Tinnitus.
Yeah, that could be a thing. There's also the realms of you have no idea what you're not hearing until you don't hear it. You know you're deaf. Like the idea of like the cave and like how natural voices bounce off, things like that. Yeah.
All my tinnitus and
yeah, it sounded quiet and now it sounds way more quiet.
Okay. But yeah, he's still up there. I think you might look around unless anyone's signaling him. I think he's still just kind of up there flying around looking at it. He might keep going higher up. I mean, there's that aspect of like when you can't solve something, you just want to go to the top of it and go as high as possible to try and see what's up there.
Notable thing before we move on, do you guys take your hands off the wall?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
As I fly up, yeah, I would take my hand off the wall.
An 18 on that nature check.
Nice. Siobhan, you're aware of what that sounds like because of the amount of people you've had to physically touch and get and glean something from. It sounds like a heartbeat.
I don't like that. She's probably gonna shout, obviously realizing nobody can hear her, but trying to get Yori's and Alistair's attention. Because Alistair watched her Thieves' Camp lesson.
Can hear too.
And he can hear, yeah. But she doesn't know that.
That's true.
So she's gonna just use her thieves' camp sign language to just try to very basic like direction. I don't know if that's north, south, east, but like direction that she heard it, and then try to like make them realize it's a heartbeat.
I'll and like wave to get Io's attention.
And then immediately seeing that's the first time. It's like, wait, you're finally letting me in? Psychically.
Don't. No, we're not. No, this is a now.
Are you trying to mind link with him?
Yes.
Okay. Alice, are you saying no to the mind link?
No, I'm letting it happen. I'm saying no. This is not a thing that's going to keep happening. This is.
I love it.
Situational.
You are deaf, so you cannot hear him say no to your response as you link up with him.
Was he saying that with his mouth, or was he saying that with his mind?
He's saying that with his mouth, and then you link up with him. So.
Okay. So it's been.
I have observant. I can read
forever.
lips.
There you go. Here we are. Just trying to get you guys to get it out of here. All right, let's do this.
Sorry, guys.
Hey, I'm not exactly good at reading lips. What are you saying?
Yeah, I'm telling you, no, this mind thing is a one-time thing. But listen, Siobhan's trying to talk to me right now in Thieves' Camp, and I got there's a cat running across the street. I don't think that's what she meant.
That's
so
close.
if you could do that, and maybe we can have like do this thing in our head. Are you reading my lips right now, Siobhan? You can read lips. Okay, cool. Io's gonna talk to you, and you tell him whatever it is that you were trying to tell me. Good.
You could also tell Siobhan, Alistair, that you can hear.
And I can hear. So
That
I can talk. You talk. I can hear.
Oh, you can hear.
Oh,
She yells.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a heartbeat that way. That was a heartbeat. I think we're in or near some kind of critter.
Was any of that thought or all just
It's all
lipped?
shouted at him.
No, I was talking about Alistair.
Oh.
Sure.
Okay. Because like otherwise it's like
I think it's like in the realms of the idea of like combat, it took another turn for you to understand what Alistair understood.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, okay. I think at that point severs the connection with him and joins with Siobhan. So, all right, what's he talking about? What are you talking about? I can't hear.
That was a heartbeat.
A heartbeat.
Whatever deafened us, that was a heartbeat.
Oh God. It also kind of smells like sulfur. I don't know. I hope devils aren't connected to this. Probably not. I mean, it's a really big stretch, but
Alistair and Nalani, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, dirty 20.
Nice.
10.
Nalani, you are now deaf. Everybody except for Alistair takes 4 points of psychic damage. Alistair, you only take 2. As you once again, for the rest of you who are already deaf, you actually just feel that vibration in the walls. If you're touching them from the floor that you're at, you can see kind of the dust from the cave kind of settle in on that. You hear that one more time. That.
All right, I'll start really hardly like hitting Io's shoulder to get his attention, and I'm gonna point up to Yori, who is slowly just getting farther and farther out of view and cannot hear us.
okay.
How do we make it stop?
Well, we need to get Yori so we can get out of the room. You guys can't hear me. This is annoying. Everyone, Yori needs to come down so we can leave.
I think noticing the tap on the shoulder, Io says to Siobhan, "Hey, I think he wants me to get little man." Then
That's what he's saying.
Yeah, then you need to lead us out. Then you need to lead us out towards that heartbeat, because I don't
Towards
want
the
that thing to kill
heartbeat.
us. I mean, if we stay here, we're probably gonna die by whatever that vibration
Guys,
was.
speed this up. You're
Okay,
just,
get Yori,
why
get
are
Yori.
we-
While he's getting Yori, is there a door in this room? Can I like look for a hidden latch or lever or some kind of trip mechanism?
Sure. Yeah, go for it. Give me an investigation check. What is Gwen doing right now?
Oh my god. If she was non-perceptive before, imagine her not being able to hear anybody else except her own thoughts.
I have a theory.
Go ahead.
And we're gonna do some real world things to this. Gwen's perception. Why is Gwen not perceptive?
I think it's typically because she's so focused on one thing at a time, like in front of her, that everything else doesn't matter because that's not what she's interested in right now.
Sure. You can only focus on one thing right now.
I think her focus is absolutely on trying to figure out some sort of pattern to this wall that would lead her to the place that like would open it, sort of thing. Like she's thinking back to how all of the like blue veins led us here. They're shifting, you said, in very similar ways, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the words we said. So is there any sort of flow, like if we sort of mentally overlap those veins onto these words, is there like a direction that anything is flowing?
So I rolled a 19 for this. You feel a pull on your clothes, and you look down and you see Gutter looking up at you and doing this.
Like making like a heartbeat sort of thing. Does the heartbeat, if I think back to the two that we heard, does it sort of coincide with any of the shifting of the words, like the same rhythm?
Yeah, somewhat. I'd say like you get the idea that like these are like almost like vein endings or like what's the word, like arterial sort of valves that might be reacting. So yeah, you get that realm for sure.
Okay.
But Gutter's trying to tell you something else.
Okay.
But all he can say is this. He's also deaf.
I got a dirty 20 on that investigation check, by the way.
You see no levers, no doorknobs, nothing that seems to be anything that would be pushed, pulled, or moved in any sort of direction.
Sticking with the heart and what Alistair knows of biology, of different creatures and things like he's done, does this feel like this is a heart that is starting up, like it needs help to get going, or we need to stop it, one or the other, like, or is this just the normal rhythm?
You get the feeling that you started it.
Got it.
I can tell you that straight up.
While he's doing that, I think Io did sever his mental connection with Siobhan and looked up, tried to establish one with Yori, and told him, come back down with the group, by the way.
Yori, roll me a perception check with disadvantage.
That would be a solid 4.
Oof.
Cool. You do not perceive. All you see is the words in front of you. I'm actually going to say
I don't know if he would go down. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, give me a luck roll.
Okay. Hiya! All right, that's a 16.
16, nice. Would you say that you are like near where the words start?
Yeah, I think that's kind of his intention. Like, I think even if he was called back, like, he's, there's a lot going on here. Like, he's kind of deaf. Like, I think that desire to see and to finish the thing that you started, I think, is driving something. He's definitely going to try and find where that, starts at the very least and take a look at it, where he comes down.
So interesting thing that you notice in the top left corner is that actually the I want to make sure I wasn't stupid on this. You see the first 5 words seem to move together, in and out. You also can read them as Sylvan. And one thing I think that definitely distracts you from anything that's going on down below is just the phrase, "This is how it began."
I think Nalani probably can figure out they're trying to get Yori's attention. He is going to shoot an arrow near Yori.
Sure.
To get
No
his
roll
attention.
necessary. I think you do that. Yori, you do look down at that. That's a very smart way to handle that.
I think, yeah, he kind of looks down and looks back at the wall and goes, and he points to Gwen. Goes,
Um,
I mean,
You could go
I
pick up
don't know if you
Gwen,
could still
honestly,
fly.
'cause I don't
At
know if
one
you want
point, you
Gwen
could
to-
fly. So
yeah. I don't think she notices you at first because she's focused on Gutter, and she has an idea of what he might be trying to tell her.
Mm-hmm.
And what she wants to do is kneel down with him and then sort of try to, like, she'll put one hand on his heartbeat and try to match their, like, heartbeats together, and then one hand on the words, and get everybody else's attention to come over and sort of do the same thing, to sort of get in the same rhythm as the wall is going.
Okay. I'm going to say, because you're doing all of that, you're trying to, like, actively, you're even trying to push someone else who's trying to give you something on that. Give me a history check with advantage.
Okay. History with advantage is a dirty 20.
Awesome. With a dirty 20, heart. You're thinking back to previous things that you dealt with in this cave. Heart. I think you even, like, take your journal and you start to kind of flip out. And as you do so, you all take 4 points of psychic damage again as this happens again. And you're flipping through, and you stop to where your book is, where you were writing down notes maybe on the first room that you were dealing with.
Okay. Let's see if we're in the right one. I think so. Like the poem? Or the very first room, that when we first entered the cave, like before we even hit the statues?
The statues. That's what I was
The statues, okay.
Where they made fun of the Earth Elemental.
Yep.
Earth. Was it an elemental? A dragon, wasn't it?
Well,
Something
Earth
like
representation.
I'm so sorry. I ended up choosing different phrases for this, didn't I? What do you have for the Earth Elemental?
Earth Elemental, I have wreathed in flame. I am the essence of heat.
Nope. That's the wrong one.
That's the wrong one. Which one?
In the heart of stone, I find strength.
Thank
Good,
you.
I didn't choose the wrong one.
Oh, jeez.
I just got really scared there. I was like, oh no, this entire room is wrong.
No worries. I didn't even write that one down. So thank you.
Go team.
So, I will say, in character, you did, because you would have.
Yeah, absolutely. I think she just shouts that out, like, so
Good
loud
job, Kiki.
as it happened.
Okay. You shout that out.
Yeah.
You see the obsidian wall seems to go into, from that dark black, completely solid glass, into actual glass. As you see in the very center, there is this this weird sort of blockish, rocky orb that is has this, like, weird sort of oblong sort of shape to it, and you see it moving
so cool.
So you went in the right direction. You do not see words anymore.
Okay. I'm so sorry. What am I looking at now? I think
So
I had
now,
a
it's okay.
blank moment.
I'll give no, it's okay. I'll give so the obsidian wall that you saw before now moves into this perfectly clear sheen. You can see all the way through it. You see that the obsidian block seems to be probably up maybe, I'd say probably about 20, say about 30 feet. I'll make it easy. 25 feet thick. In the center of that, there seems to be this interesting looking like stone heart, essentially, that seems to be moving, as if it's giving life to this wall.
Okay.
At this point, you see that there is like shifting sort of like letters that come in, but now they're so hard to see it would be impossible. You get the idea that you've gotten at least most of the concept of what you need to do here.
Is her hand still on it?
Probably.
Her hand is your hand on the wall?
It had been because she was trying to
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no difference. You feel the writing kind of go in and out from your hand.
Cool. But you can't see the writing anymore, or it's still there.
It's just even harder.
You
to
can't
see.
even hard.
Yeah.
Understood.
At this point, Yori, you see this, right? Does this bring you down to the group, or would you say that you're still up there?
I think he's still up there. I mean, I feel like, like he sees these first words. I feel, this feels, the story itself, that's a part of who he is, and he wants to know it. And so he's still trying to look at it as if it would just reveal itself to him. And I think he's sad that it turns clear because he can no longer kind of see what's going on. So, I mean, I think he probably stays up there for a little bit. And if nothing changes, I think he probably puts his hand on it again just to see, right after the Sylvan words, to see if he can do anything. And if nothing happens at that point, he'll probably float down. But
yeah, you put your hands over "This is how it began," and you wait to see if there's just something that gives you something more. You want to know the story. This is the origin story, possibly. And I think there's probably a part of you that even tries to channel something into the wall of let me know, this was a message that was written, let me understand it. And you feel nothing in response.
yeah, so at that point, I think he just kind of slowly float down, back with the group.
Is there a... Can we tell if the glass or whatever goes all the way to this heart, or is there a platform on the other side? Is there a room in which this heart is contained that we're looking at it through basically a double-sided mirror, right?
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, I think you do see that it looks like it's actually covering over, this actually kind of moved over the sides of this bridge that you were on. So there's even probably a good 20 feet on either side that you actually see is still like that. So you still would have to actually cross over a bridge to get through this thing. Gwen, for the record, your hand doesn't immediately go through. There's nothing with that.
I think what she would do... Oh, go ahead.
Well, the reason I asked that was you said it's 25 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to look at Gwen and Alistair and be like, I can do it.
I think Gwen would think about it, but she'd hold up one finger because she doesn't know if you can hear or not. And then she's going to shout, because does this... So the earth one opened the wall.
What?
The saying around the earth statue opened the wall, right?
It made It showed you the secret.
Showed you the secret.
Mhm.
So I think what she's going to say here is the one for the water. And in my watery realms, fluid gray shines. I think that was it.
Okay. Nothing happens.
Nothing happens? Okay. Interesting.
She's gonna yell at Alistair. Al, can you pull me out if I try something? Do you have that magic?
No, I can't. But like, there's no. I mean, even if you get there, you're encased in whatever this is. Like, you could die instantly.
I thought it was just like a glass wall. That's what I asked. That it's not like everything's encased, right?
Yeah, it's hard to be able to fully get, but I will tell you, mechanically speaking, it is 25 feet width wise. The heart is in the center, right? So if you wanted to Misty Step over to the other side, Misty Step is to be an area that you can see. Well, you can see the other side of this. So I will say, mechanically, this would probably work. The trouble is whether or not you need to be on this side or the other side to be able to get the rest of them through.
I don't have any spells left.
I mean, I think just to finish the experiment, she would say both of the other phrases, the air one first and then the fire one, just to see if anything happens with them.
No change.
Okay, cool.
Heart of stone, I find strength.
He already likes to hit things with his hammer. That's strength.
Strength
Yeah.
comes in a lot of forms.
I'll tap Yori with my cane and walk up to the wall and mime swinging and hitting it. And then I'll hold up and count to 3 and we'll hit it together. If he wants to. Oh no. No, he's not going to do that.
Something he's not going to do.
I already
he's
know
conflicted
he's not
at
going to do
this
that.
point. He's conflicted.
Like until he starts and then he's like, no, stop, wait.
He's just I think he follows like he would follow you up there, but I think as you started counting, like if you got to 3, I don't think he would have swung. I think he would have still been kind of holding his hammer a little bit, like staring at it, and like he wouldn't have swung yet. Unless somebody's in there, then he'll swing to get somebody out, but I don't think he's gonna swing until he's
So you listened to Alistair through all of this, right?
Did he hear me?
Well, I'm asking, did you give any inclination that you aren't going to swing on 3?
Not besides a sort of body language. No, like if he does it and if he's doing this on the 3rd, I the only
Alistair, give me an insight check.
Yeah.
For Alistair.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So 12.
12, cool. Yeah, you didn't pick up that he's not going to swing. So
Yeah.
would you follow through?
Oh, absolutely.
Cool. You follow through with that cane. Give me an attack roll.
That's a 6.
Okay, cool. I didn't think I had to look this up. Hold on 1 second.
The AC of a wall.
Yeah, hold on.
It'd be at least 10.
A lot of times there's like AC and then there's like minimum damage you have to do or something in order to damage
So
it.
he can't hit the broadside of a barn.
So the AC of glass, which I would say I would be using in this instance, is 13. So you do not. You just somehow whiff it. I don't know. I don't even know how to.
It's about whether it does damage.
Yeah,
so
I
you
mean,
can hit it, but like
maybe
Yeah,
like that last second, I see that Yori's not swinging, and I'm like, what?
You just pull back right at that time.
I just pictured him hitting it and bouncing back at himself.
Right. Yeah. You just boom.
it's a bulk.
I know I mentioned this earlier, but mechanically, is there any way for me to like? Can I tell if their hearing is like a magical effect, or is it something that would require rest, or could it be fixed on the spot?
Give me a medicine check looking at Yori, or like inspecting Yori.
I have inspiration.
Okay.
You get it. All right.
It doesn't matter. It was a 5 and a 2. Sorry, and so it is what it is.
You have no idea. You have no clue.
I'm so frustrated. Io, I look at Yori. I need you to talk to Yori. Something's wrong. Can you figure out what's going on? We kind of need him here.
I'm still linked to Yori. So, but I can't really necessarily read Alistair's mind. But I'm like, I think Al's upset about something. And are you listening to me now?
Al's upset about something. Are you listening to me now? That's what you say to Yori?
Well, are you listening to me now is mainly because the last time I tried to reach out to him, he didn't respond.
Right, I know, but it's so funny. Like, just the kid of like, so Dad's mad. Can you hear me?
Actually, yeah, let's stick with it.
And Siobhan understands everything.
Yeah, yeah. Like, wait. Hold on. Tyler, what? I mean, Yori, you hear that in your head.
I'm sorry, like physically, I think I was also in a different place. So what do I hear? What did you say besides Dad's
You
mad?
basically heard, Dad's mad. Can you hear me?
Yeah, he snaps out of it a little bit and goes in his head. Yeah, I can hear you. I can't hear anybody else or anything else, but I can hear you.
He wanted you to hit this wall. I think he's worried about something, but
I know
exactly.
We're in danger and we're being hurt, but also the top
Everybody
of the
takes 1 point of psychic damage.
the top of the obelisk started with, and did I write this down? This is how it all began, or
This is how it began.
this is how it began. This is how it began, and this could be. I don't know. It just feels like something you shouldn't break. It's a story. It's the story.
Yori, can I ask if you're saying that out loud while you're talking to him in your mind, or are you just thinking it in your mind?
I think that's fair to say, because I mean, he might not be saying it, but he might be mouthing it. This is probably the first time he's done the whole telepathic thing. So, you know, the idea that you could just say it in your head and not say it aloud, and also that he's a kid and that's kind of what he does anyway. Like, I think he might be mouthing it at least. Yeah. What he's saying.
Okay. I have an idea. Siobhan's gonna turn into her changeling self. Hearing this is how it all began, and knowing in the heart of stone I find strength. And then she's just gonna try to put one hand out and just walk towards the stone. She doesn't want to run into it face first like someone else did earlier.
Yeah, you walk towards it. You feel resistance. You feel like you feel a literal glass like against your palm.
Well, I thought that would do something. I guess not.
What's Nalani doing?
Nalani's about to shoot an arrow straight at this.
Shoot an arrow.
You saw Alistair hit the wall, so
14 plus 11 to hit.
Yeah, you hit it. The whole thing collapses, breaks down. You see glass start to kind of like glass shards start to just descend down everywhere. As they all come down, because you guys are you're close enough to it, but I'm not going to make you roll for it. You see like shards just start to kind of like come towards you, and Siobhan, you have to like just kind of like jump out of the way as you see them kind of come down and break apart into a million pieces at your feet. The weird sort of heart-shaped rock seems to fall limp to the ground, about roughly about 10 feet away from you.
I'm going to move forward.
Yeah, I think Gwen would also be moving towards the heart.
Okay. You guys move towards the heart. What do you do?
I'm putting my hand on Gwen's shoulder to give her guidance. Because I know she's about to touch the rock and she might
You
need some
touch
help
it.
in that.
You're not wrong. Is there still any, like, I know you fell to the ground, but does it still look like it's active? Or does it look...
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, it does still look like it's still beating slightly.
Okay.
Definitely slower.
Slower. Cool.
At about the speed of where you guys, that was equal to about where you saw the words kind of moving in and out from the beginning.
Okay, like before we touched it?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I am going to touch the rock.
As you touch the rock, you feel a deep voice start to talk to you. And I'd like you to roll me an insight check here.
Okay.
And you have guidance.
Thank you. That will help. I am actually proficient in that now. That's okay. That's not terrible. It's going to be a 14.
14. Okay, good. You hear a deep voice speak into your mind that says, "This is how it began." And you can pull your hand away really quickly if you would like, because you get the idea that there's someone else in this group that would rather hear this story.
Like as you're saying that, she's going to keep her hand on the rock, but she is going to like blindly reach behind her and try to grab Yori to come over and also touch the rock.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Yeah. So Yori, if you wanted to kind of like be pulled forward on that.
Yeah. As a quick moment, I think in order to deal with kind of what was happening, Yori is actually reciting a different story to himself right now. A different origin story, that just the one that he knows, just a simple thing. And it's, he's probably just mouthing it, but he's just saying, long ago, there was the raw, roiling ocean of potential. And from the faltering chaos, Animas, who became Anam, the All-Father, inevitably came to be. I've been around long enough to know the reputation of the giants, but none of this was Anam's intention or nature. Anam All-Father was known for meditating on a topic for 1,000 years. He was the way the spheres could know itself, a god of learning and thought, and of creation. He sleeps, and his dream is the dream of us, and of the entire plane. Only things did not go as he would have them. That's what he recites. But yeah, he's certainly, I think that core, that sort of thought of he has a story, breaks him a little bit out of his feeling, and he goes with Gwen to see what she's trying to show him, and then would put his hand on it.
Okay, cool. Yori, you hear, "This is how it began." And you hear this voice start to recite a very different story than what you know.
Right.
You hear that there were once 4. That's all it's marked as, is 4. These 4. I think I'm getting an echo from somebody. Check. Now I don't have it. So, these 4, and it goes into this story of how the beginning of it explains there were 4 beings of. As the story progresses, you get the idea that they represent 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water. Decide to put something together as a representation of a jewel to befit all 4 of what envelops and what makes them. as they did so, they created the water created the waters of the world. The air created the atmosphere. The earth created land, and fire created the ability of destruction for all things. The end of the phrase on this was the ending that you hear, which is, it actually feels like it's being cut off, was fire was the first to burn. And then it stops as both you and Gwen just come back out.
I think, yeah, so he looks at Gwen and he's kind of like, did Gwen put her hand on it at the same time? Okay, yeah, so he points at Gwen and is, he's going to point to Io.
Yeah.
And then if he establishes that link, he's going to try to convey that story to Io, who then maybe can convey it to other people. You know, tell him
Gwen, I'm
what he
sorry.
heard.
The echo is from you. That's what I was doing. I was taking that out.
Okay, I think getting that message from Yori, that's exactly what Io does. I think he's actually gonna first go into Nalani, then tell him that. Then he's gonna relay it to Siobhan, while also telling her, I've already been in Al's head a little too much. Go ahead and thieves can't the story to him.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't have enough of that language to understand that yet.
Okay, well, all right. Well, he's gonna get another visit, and then lastly, he jumps into Alistair's head and tries to give him all the cliff notes. If he has questions, he'll answer the questions, but he's also probably trying to go kind of quick because he knows his friend doesn't feel comfortable with this.
I'm sorry, I got lost in trying to figure out the volume issues that are happening. What are you doing?
Sorry, I am doing exactly what Yori suggested, trying to use my mental link to explain to everybody what just happened.
Oh, okay, what they heard. Gotcha. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. So you send that around. Everybody kind of gets an idea of what this was.
So make sure to send it to Gutter.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Gutter hears this and seems to nod along as if he fully understands this.
Okay. I'm going to take out my torch and kind of look to Alistair. You know, like the last thing we heard was like fire was the first to burn. And as far as a puzzle or a riddle, he kind of looks at it just questioningly, like,
well, there's stuff up ahead. I'm giving you guys a moment to be able to.
Okay, I didn't see. Yeah. I thought that was just it, and
no,
all right.
No.
So I set the heart on fire, and then.
Okay, so first off, Alistair is extremely frustrated right now because this is a game of telephone, and this is super important stuff.
Right.
And he's probably the only one there sweating and pacing. This heart, this stone. Is it movable? Can I pick it up?
Yeah, so it's about this big.
Okay.
So maybe like 3 feet wide and big. Yeah. So you pick it up. It feels extremely heavy. I'm gonna say you feel like you can. Just to be able to like simplify things, you feel like you can pick it up, but it's not something that you want to be just hanging around with. You specifically.
Yeah.
Is it obsidian?
It does not look to be obsidian. It looks like it is actually just like various like pieces of just common like earth and granite.
If I wrap it in my cloak, do I still get that feeling if I'm not directly touching it?
Of the weight?
Well, yeah, okay, sorry. Yes, but still, so it's just the weight. Can I just fashion a backpack out of my cloak and like have it on the back?
you have people in your party that would probably be able to handle this a little better than you can.
They want to
something's
take the weight.
changed.
That's fine.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like,
Jason.
I think Yori's kind of looking at you like,
I'm just like,
waiting. Alistair likes to do things on his own, and I think he gets that. So he's looking at you, but he's not going to be like, here, let me take that, unless you kind of start to offer it.
like, and I mean this completely because I honestly don't know. Can Yori write?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Snorri was teaching him when he ran away. So I think he has written letters. In fact, he wrote a letter during our last break, so he can write.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, I will pull out some scrap of paper or napkin I have, and I know pens aren't a thing, but we're gonna pretend ink and quill came up, and just quickly, like scratch on it. I am so frustrated right now. I don't know what's going on. Should we bring this with us? I'm bringing this with me.
He'll kind of reach out for the pen and is like, need a hand.
Yeah, take it. Okay.
I think he'll use the kind of wrap or backpack that you made to kind of sling it on himself and kind of carry it.
Cool. You got it. Yori, give me a very important Constitution saving throw.
Don't say very important in front of these rolls.
Very important.
That's very rude. All right.
Can I have been giving him
21.
guidance? Oh no, it's a
21.
saving throw. You can't do guidance.
Okay.
21.
21's pretty good. 21's fine. You feel that this is what it is. It is a heart of what feels like solid stone, like granite with like dirt and like earth around it, that you are slinging on your back. That's about this big. It feels extremely heavy, but you're able to carry it without having to deal with any sort of any sort of like physical issues. Okay. So up ahead from you guys, about maybe 60 feet, you notice that the bridge itself seems to thin out and then spread out into this very wide circle, perfectly cylindrical, perfect sort of circle around, where you see there is what looks to be a pedestal in the center, and there is a single piece of wood that seems to be a torch. As you see, there is a light that is gleaming from it. The circle around is probably about it's about 30 feet in diameter.
Is this like circle? Is it like a platform elevated out over an opening, essentially,
Nope, it's just
or is
directly
this a room?
in front of you. It's not even a
Like,
room.
is its own
directly.
room?
Well, you guys are still on a bridge, remember, on either, and so
Yes.
now on either side, now you can actually see chasm of nothingness. I'd say probably about as far out as like 50 feet on either side of you. So you're walking to the next sort of part across this bridge, I'd say about maybe 50 to 60 feet away, and that's where you see it kind of spreads out into this open sort of area. But it's not its own room. It's still in that.
But
still in
it
that
does
sort
have a
of-
chasm below it.
Yes. Yeah.
Could you describe it a
Check
little
for
bit
traps
again?
ahead
Just-
of us.
Oh yeah, if you like to do that, that's fine too. Yeah, I mean it is a possibly rickety bridge.
I'm sorry. What did you ask?
I just wanted to
Hold on, time out. Sorry, Kiki. What did you ask?
Yes.
To check for traps ahead of us to make sure we
You
don't
got it.
trigger anything that will collapse the
go for it.
bridge.
Give me that investigation check. Yori, what did you like?
Guidance.
I just can you describe that area again as far as like, so there's a kind of a 30-foot ring. Is there something in the center of it, you said?
Yes.
Or
So
there's one torch. Yeah.
So you have, now that you guys have passed through this wall, you see that there is an extended sort of, the bridge itself seems to extend further, about 50 to 60 feet away from you, as it seems to kind of thin out to being about maybe like only 15 feet wide. You see up ahead there is a space where it opens up circularly. Clinton, I need you to mute. Muting you. So as it seems to extend out perfectly in a 30-foot diameter, and in the center there's a pedestal with a torch that seems to be sitting directly on top of it.
Okay.
Again, I'm just
15.
gonna just to do a general sort of thing. Just make sure you guys are turning on any sort of sound cancellation stuff that you have, because it's getting a little rough. It's hard to concentrate. So or just mute when you can. 15. Yeah. You don't see, there's not only is there really like, there's no traps or anything, there's not really a lot of space for traps to be at. It's that same sort of weird, like sort of rocky terrain where everything's kind of placed there. There's possibility that there'd be like some loose rocks up ahead. But I'd say as long as you guys kind of stay single file in that, you'd be fine. With a 15.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine when we head over there.
Okay, give me a marching order for you guys.
I think
I
Gwen would
assume
be
I'm
pretty
up
close to the
front.
front right after Siobhan since she's looking for traps.
Cool. So we got Siobhan, Gwen. Who's after that?
I think I'd actually be after Alistair, wherever he is in the line, in the
Okay.
marching order.
Yep, I'll be next.
Okay. So Alistair, Io,
None.
I want to be at the very end, and I am
That's what
not
you tend to
going
do.
inside the circle because I'm pretty sure when Gwen gets in there, this whole circle's gonna light up with fire.
okay. So you have Alistair, Io, Nalani, you're in the back. Yori, say you want to be before or after Gutter?
I would say
Maybe
Yuri
before
could
Gutter.
even be, if he wanted to be closer to the front, because he's short, Gwen could see over him. If he wanted to be closer to the front, that would be.
No, I think I'm good where it is. Yeah, I mean,
Where
and I
where
think
is
if we're
that?
bringing the,
Are you before or
is-
after Gutter? Let's handle one thing, and then we'll handle the
I
next.
said before, but yeah, it's before.
Before Gutter? Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. What are you guys saying?
So mostly just saying if this big artifact on my back is going to trigger something when we go in there, which is a possibility, maybe it's better if you guys are kind of mostly in there by the time I get in there rather than me going in first.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. All right. So,
I do think probably Gwen would have everybody pause before we step into the circle, just because of all of that. So.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so so we'll say that you guys are in that order here. You could spread out here. The reason why I'm mentioning on this run through, I'm gonna say you guys walk all the way to there and nothing happens. If you guys were to spread out from that single file line, there's a possibility that something might happen on that. But you guys are standing at the threshold of where that clear. So I think you even see like a line in the ground that kind of comes across on that. So no one has stepped in the circle yet.
I'll hold up a ball bearing and try and get everybody's attention and kind of mime throwing it over and see if I get a nod of approval.
Cool.
I'll roll it on the ground. I'm not going to throw it.
You got it. So you roll it out. You hear it just tip, 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 as it moves kind of closer to the center and seems to kind of roll around and then settles into a spot. Nothing happens.
Is there any writing on the pedestal that we can see, even if we can't make out what exactly it says, or on the ground leading up, or any patterns to the floor, anything like that?
Great question. Yeah, good point. So, so I think as you guys are now kind of closer to it, Siobhan and Gwen, and I'll say Alistair, you see this too. The rest of you would be just kind of hard to see over the realms of everybody else. You do see that there is writing in the center of this pit that actually looks like to be in more of a granulated sort of state. It looks like it's like a grayish sort of sand, but it is also moving up and down.
Grayish sand like ash.
Do you want to roll an investigation check to find out?
Yeah, can I also take my oil flask out and just kind of splash a little and then light a tinder and throw the tinder in?
Okay.
That was a 17 investigation.
Okay. The 17, you throw you throw a little bit of oil, you throw the match on there, you see it kind of comes up, and you see the reflection of the fire against this grayish sand is indeed ash. But nothing else.
It doesn't
happens.
react to the, okay.
Well, I'd say after that, the oil, because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong here, we can get into like semantics on this, but I think oil actually burns really quickly, or is it the opposite?
Opposite.
Oil's really slow. That's why you
Opposite,
put it.
okay.
Oil lanterns burn and oil
Oh,
lights
that's right.
burn so
Yeah,
long.
yeah.
But if it's a
Yep,
little
yep.
bit, that's a big difference between, if you,
Yeah.
a little bit, it's still going to burn out pretty quick.
I will try and get Gwen's attention and like point to her notes because the poem from earlier or the phrase earlier worked. To get her to recite the fire line.
Yeah. She will say, "Wreathed in flame, I'm the essence of heat," or shout it probably because she's still deaf and you can't moderate your tone when you're deaf.
Okay, cool. You say that you see a weird sort of like flicker of light from the torch as the torch seems to kind of dance in response to that, but nothing else happens.
I think she's just gonna point at all of them and the pedestal and like this, we need to get closer sort of idea.
Yeah, Yori immediately walks on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll loop my arm into Gwen's and walk forward.
Perfect.
Cool. As you guys walk in, Nalani, you said you specifically didn't want to walk in. Are you still staying with that? Can't hear you.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand right on the edge.
Okay, you got it. So just outside, as the rest of you walk in, you can feel yourselves kind of like your footfalls are actually touching the sand that is moving up and down. You actually feel the sand kind of like almost as if there's like a crab or some sort of like weird like beach like entity like kind of like pushing underneath your feet. As you step away, look back at your spot and see the sand kind of moves up and down and then rephrases back into that, back into those words. Instinctively, Yori, you see where it looks like the spiral of the circle seems to start from the very end of this, and you see you don't recognize the words, but it is definitively not. It definitely does not say this is how it began.
Right.
Which tells you that this might be a continuation. As you guys move forward, at this moment, nothing else seems to happen at this point.
Is it the same as before with all of the languages sort of shifting in and out?
Yes.
Okay.
I think hey, little man, can you show? I guess I'm gonna go where I guess Yori is. I'm gonna look at after that point of the part that he would have seen in Sylvan. Is there anything in Infernal that seems to continue this?
Yeah, just random words though.
Okay.
Nothing in particular that you're able to glean.
So you said it's sort of like a spiral. Can we follow the spiral to where it begins? Is it like?
Yeah, you kind of like find where it begins. That's where I think Yori's kind of like standing as they see this like kind of like sort of thing kind of comes up as words start to form.
I'm gonna take out the heart again, and kind of hold it, and I want to bring it a little bit closer. I'm not gonna put it in the torch flame, but I want to bring it a little bit closer and see if it reacts at all. See if anything happens while I'm holding it. Bring it a little bit close to the torch.
Nope,
Does the flame look like flame?
it does.
I'm gonna move my hand close to see if it emits heat.
Interesting. No, it does not.
I'm going to slowly move my hand into the flame to see if it burns me. The moment I feel any pain, she's pulling back.
Nothing.
I'll point at the heart that Yori has, get Yori's attention, and him and Gwen as well, and just like touch it, like hold the torch. You hear the story, maybe.
Sure, I grab the torch.
Cool. You grab the torch. This is a very important role for Nalani.
Stop it.
Nalani, I'm going to be very honest with you. This could be it. as there is a huge as fire leaps up from the outside. You said you were just on the end, and you are in an area that is extremely skinny here. You are going to take damage, and I need a dexterity saving throw.
Well, I have good dex.
It's true.
14 on the die and +4, 18.
Cool. With an 18, you are blasted. You feel yourself actually be pushed far out of the way. You're good. You feel yourself get blasted out of the way, and you were just able to grab on to a rocky edge with both hands as you feel yourself almost going over the edge. You feel a couple of rocks move around with you as pebbles kind of go down, and there is no sound from them whatsoever. Nalani, there's a point where your heart is racing as you recognize that this could have been the end of you.
I think Nolani yells. Obviously, Alistair's the only one that hears him.
Actually, no one hears you as these flames are pushing from the side. The rest of you do not see Nalani do this. And actually, Nalani, I need a Constitution saving throw from you, as I need a Constitution saving throw from everybody.
14.
14. Cool.
5.
17.
19.
15.
8.
Okay. Rolled below a 15. You are all blinded by the immediate light of these flames coming up, which includes Nalani, by the way. As this happens,
Start using echolocation.
Who's not blind?
Who's not?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
raise your hand if you're not blind.
So 3 of us, one person can see and hear. 3 of us can neither see nor hear.
Took away my one ability to hear.
Yep.
I can't read lips anymore.
You immediately take 6 points of fire damage just from the heat as this wave comes up over you in a cone, and it starts to kind of pull in closer and closer and closer. And Gwen, you can see it moving closer.
I think so. Yori has both the heart and the torch in separate hands now.
Yeah, I say, Yori, where do you keep
over
the heart? On the back.
It's probably slung back over in wherever the sling was.
Is the torch still lit as he's holding it?
Torch is still lit as he's holding it up. Yes.
And has anything else changed except for this ring of fire that's quickly closing in on us, or slowly?
Quickly closing in. Yeah.
Quickly closing in.
Nothing else seems to have changed.
All right, I'm gonna look at Alistair and take Yori's hand and touch the torch to the rock. See if anything happens really quick as we panic.
Sorry, say that again. You're gonna take Yori's hand.
Well, I'm gonna try to tell him using body language, to touch the torch to the rock behind him.
Touch the torch to the rock behind him.
Yeah.
Got it.
Alistair's on a different wavelength. I'm going to try and smother that torch.
Okay, cool. You go to smother the torch. You, how are you doing that?
I mean, my coat is currently using the whole thing. I mean, this is the soldier jumping on the grenade. I will literally cover it with my body.
Okay, as you are covering it with your body, the light has to escape somewhere. Give me another Constitution saving throw. 12. You are now blinded as you see the light just escape right across your face. Okay. Anything else?
Can I feel the flames coming closer, or
Absolutely.
is it?
Yeah, you guys are taking damage from the heat.
I'm flying up. with both the torch and the rock.
Okay, you got it. As you fly up with the torch and the rock, you are moving above everyone else in this realm here as you watch the rest of your friends as the fire gets closer and closer together. You do not take harm from this, but everybody else takes 10 points of fire damage. This is seconds, gang. Just so you know.
Okay, so real quick, above table, what was the fire poem?
Yeah. I think Gwen would be shouting it as Yori's flying up as she tried to get him to touch it. Wreathed in flame, I am the essence of heat. I think that was it.
Cool. Gwen, you're shouting that?
Yeah.
Flames are still coming in?
Yeah.
So the torch is wreathed in flame. So is the torch the essence of heat?
It wasn't hot though.
Essence.
I'm gonna give both Alistair and Gwen we'll say this is an investigation check.
Okay. Please roll better than me. I rolled a 12.
25.
Okay,
25,
thank God.
cool. Gwen was near the wall, touching the wall even, when she uttered those words.
I can't see and he can't hear, and he took off with the torch.
And he took off. Yep. This is tricky. You do have someone with mind link.
Yeah. I think in Io's panic, he links up with Gwen. And I mean, if this is seconds on the dot, it's like basically if he doesn't think she's thinking up any kind of answer or response, he's immediately jumping to Alistair and doing the same thing. Above table, that's what he's doing.
I think that's fair. Yeah, panic sets in. You try to find a way to be able to communicate as quickly as possible.
You go to the two people who come up with ideas. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Gwen is pretty sure that we need to be saying these words somehow, but for some reason her brain just isn't making the connection that they have to be touching.
Yep.
She can fly, though. You've seen her fly.
Okay.
You could just tell me to say it.
Yeah, I mean, 12 seconds.
Yeah.
For the two of us to communicate what needs to be done. So whatever damage is going to happen.
I rolled to see if it hits you before you reach Alistair. It did not.
Okay.
And
so
then
you now reach Alistair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We need the torch.
We need the torch. Got it. Let me get little man back down. And then reaches up to Yori mentally.
He could say it.
He could say it.
He could say it.
Oh, I could. Yeah, I think he just shouts it at that point. Or you said just say it.
Say the words.
Oh,
say
yeah.
the poem.
I follow you. Yeah. And then I basically recite the poem mentally to have him shout it.
You got it.
There we go.
Yori, give me a perception check to be able to get this in time before taking more damage.
Sure. 16.
16. You got it. Okay. You hear that. You describe to me how Yori kind of puts that together.
I mean, I get, I suppose, would he have seen, I don't know if he would have seen what Gwen did, because Gwen was down at the bottom when she yelled it out to turn the obelisk clear, like when she first did it. But it's not as if he didn't hear those poems and things like that. So I
think you heard her say it. She yelled it.
Well, I would have been deaf.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. But I mean, he's been thinking about puzzles this whole time and stuff like that. And I think there's a panic thing where also the other thing is that he says what he's thinking in these we already established that earlier. So if he's telling, he's thinking of that and just saying it out loud to himself, and then yeah.
Okay, so you're just saying it out loud in response to what? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think he just says it out loud because it's in his head.
You got it. I need you to say it. So someone read it to him if they need to.
Breathe in flame, I am the essence of heat.
Wreathed in flame, I am the essence of heat. Probably more like wreathed in flame, I am the essence of heat.
Yeah, question mark. I love it. And then all of a sudden, just and it comes back down. Your senses are lost in some ways, gang, but you do feel the heat go away. As you are holding, you're still holding this torch.
Yeah, I would drop down at that point. When you're blind, you probably don't want to fly a whole lot, so it was just a panic response.
Nalani, give me a survival check.
A 14.
14. Cool. With a 14, you are able to make it back to the group, hearing their voices and making sure that I think you truly crawl back, as I think you're also blinded, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. As you guys make it to the center, you feel the ash around. I think a couple of you probably even just drop to the ground too, as you're trying to kind of make sense of where to go next and to make sure that you guys are good. As you all are sitting there, Yori, you hear the voice continue to speak. But before we hear anything about the voice says, we're going to take this moment to take our 10-minute break. See you guys in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Okay. We are back in it, friends. So let's do this just for reference for myself as well as the audience. What are we dealing with condition wise for you all? So, show of hands if you are blinded. So, Gwen and Io are not. And show of hands if you were deafened. Everybody but Io. Okay. On. So, for a majority of you guys, you are both blinded and deafened. So as you come to, you hear the fire pull back down as you kind of get down to your hands and knees, and you can feel the soot of the ash on your hands. I think eventually you guys kind of like touch hands. You get to kind of get the idea of like who's who. Obviously, Io, you still have that mind link that, whew, man, does that come in handy. As you are able to differentiate who is who, and you recognize that everybody is here in this moment. Gutter is not blinded.
Good. He can tell us what to do.
You can't hear him.
Doesn't matter anyway. Yeah.
Can I start trying to tie ropes around everybody? So
Absolutely, you can.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yep. So you guys, I think you spend a good solid, what would normally take you about maybe 2 minutes. It takes you about a good 15 minutes to make sure that everybody's kind of tied together in a space that is not like tying into a circle or something, messed up. But it takes some progress. And actually, I'm going to say, give me a natural, like a D20, adding your intelligence modifier to this roll. I'll say you can, whoever wants to help can help.
Can I guide him?
Mm-hmm.
Great. I'm blind and deaf, and now someone's attacking me with rope.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm helping. I'm essentially
Me
a
too.
communication link.
22, you got it. Yeah, so it takes all that 15 minutes, but you do manage to be able to kind of make sure, okay, it's tied tight, everybody's all in the same area. Io, you're trying to kind of make connections with each other. I'm going to say, for those who try to remember what is past this area, give me perception checks.
That's a 6.
Okay.
16.
Okay.
It's really rude that the 19 is right next to the 1 on the die. And so you see that 19, and then it just goes, eee.
Nope.
That one.
That one. Love it.
Gwen got a 15. If that's the highest, I'm going to cry.
Oh, man. Amazing.
I
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Time out. I apologize. There's no real reason to have to deal with this. A couple of you aren't blind, which is, so you're not, like, totally lost here. Gwen, you can just look. Apologies for making you guys
I thought
roll
we
on
were
that.
trying to remember something from the past and apply it to the present.
No, you guys can totally see what's ahead. Assuming that you've handled everything here, first off, actually, going back to the story. So, Yori, you hear after the burning, and you start to hear the story continue. It sounds like the burning was an initial destruction of everything that could possibly be destroyed. In this instance, so the minute that the fire was actually added, the fire caught and grabbed hold of all land around. From that, the being of Earth, the entity of Earth, and the entity that would be named as Fire, immediately started to come in conflict. Water was there to be able to calm them down and to separate them from different areas of the world, telling Fire, you can take underneath, but the land would be on top, on the surface with me, near the water and the air. You can be opposite, and air and fire will be separated from each other. Years, eons, time passed, and with that time came animals and the creation of humans and humanoid beings. Each time, I'll say, actually, sorry, when the humanoid beings came into being, that was when Fire started to realize that because I have no connection to air, I have less pull and less energy than the rest of my brothers do, and started the war, gathering a faction of underground beings that were close to them. They waged war on the land itself and everything around. From there, air decided to wage its own war on the land and the water, and there was the war itself was made from all four beings fighting for their peace. Eventually, there was a grand stand that stopped them, made a pause in their peace, and from that, the council was formed. And that's where it cuts off.
I think while Alistair is tying everybody up, probably if Io connects with Yori, then let's try to relay that story as well to Io, and then he can try to relate to other people during that time.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out how to. Can you connect to multiple people at the same time, or is it always a one person? It's always a one person thing.
It's a one-on-one, yeah.
Can you only do that certain amount? Go ahead and just read what the mind link does.
Sure.
So I'll know.
Yeah, no problem. Features and traits. Let's get down to it. Oh, come on. Telekinetic. No, I don't need telekinetic. I need telepathic.
So this would be telepathic speech.
Yeah, looking for it.
Is it the feet?
It's up at the top. No.
Thank you.
Okay.
Telepathic speech. As a bonus action, choose one creature you can see within 30 feet of you. You and the chosen creature can speak telepathically with each other while you are within 5 miles of each other. The telepathic connection lasts for 5 minutes. No limit, though, in terms of, like, resources per day.
Mm-hmm. Telepathic connection lasts for a number of minutes equal to your social level. It ends early if you're incapacitated or die, or if you use the ability to form a connection with a different creature. So one at a time, you have to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to be able to see them to
Right.
create that bond.
Right.
Are you blinded? You are. No, you're not.
I'm not. I'm deaf.
Jeez. Oof.
Yeah. I've been keeping that in mind.
That would suck. Okay. What do you guys do next?
I think as I'm doing this and passing the story along, I probably would have asked everybody if they're okay. Would Siobhan have let Io know that she's in bad straits? But then again, also, is she visibly, like, covered in really bad burns and stuff?
I don't know. She might look like she's about 50 years old.
That too.
It's not that old.
Especially for a changeling who's probably going to live for like 300 years.
Yeah.
No, I
about
think she
age.
definitely looks physically tired. I think she would say, like, we could use a break, but she's not going to make a big deal out of it. Because she doesn't know if that flaming sphere is going to come back at any point. She'd rather be somewhere safe, like the sanctuary room they were in.
I think I was asking if he wants you to be healed or not.
Well, I was actually asking. I was gonna get to that, but I was gonna ask again. Are we still continuing? That was nasty.
I don't think we have a choice to go
Where else
back.
could we go?
You no longer have a choice.
That's fair.
And I mean, if somebody has a way to help, that'd be great. But I don't think anybody really does anymore, and I'd rather save that for truly dire straits rather than
Yeah, that's kind of. I do, but do you want it now or
when I need to get popped back up in the middle of combat. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I lost you guys there for a second. I was just on my end.
Yeah, we were all talking. So
Okay. One thing I did forget was to tell you guys what's up ahead. So Gwyn, Io, and Gutter see. Further up, you see the pathway seems to kind of continue to move in that 15 feet space. It is. Sorry, it is about 60 feet ahead. You see there's just a sudden drop off. Nothing. What you do see, and actually I'll say for this I need a perception check for those that can see. So Gwyn, Io, and I'll roll for Gutter. Okay.
Whoever Siobhan's tied next to, she can just keep popping guidance into. So.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, that's even better than last time. Oh boy.
23 for me.
Nice.
17 for me.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's pretty hard to. I would say it's pretty hard to see this. So I'm going to say it's a DC 20, just so that way you can know at least one person saw it. You see a sudden drop off and just darkness, blackness, right? And as you are looking around, Io, you look up, and you see there looks to be an extension to that platform, but it looks to be hundreds of feet up in the air.
I think Io points that out, especially to Gwen first, since he knows she has a method of flight. Probably to both her and Gutter, literally just points. Says something mentally if he has to, but yeah, for like the rest of the group, just one at a time.
Cool. I'll say, when I say hundreds, I mean like probably closer to like 500. So, not impossible to do with fly, but could be tricky.
Gotcha.
Hers last 10 minutes, so.
Right. So, you think the most direct approach is going to be the best way up there, or are you thinking, what's the next part of the poem? I feel like
I
it's
posted
air
it
related.
on Winds of Dreams. My spirit soars.
Yeah.
Winds of Dreams, my
So she'd
spirit.
say that back to you, Io.
Mm-hmm. Question is, what's going to be the trick to doing it? Do we have to physically be up there, or do we
The
have to
last
float
two
something
we've
up
had to
there?
touch and say the poem at the same time, touch whatever object it is. I think we have enough to hypothesize it will be the same.
Yeah.
You guys are still also 60 feet away from that platform.
Yeah, I think
I'm blind but not deaf. Do I hear wind?
Well,
Nope.
I'll say Io, let them know we're going to start heading forward. And I think probably either Io or Gwen would have to be in the front since they're the ones who can see.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the blind and deaf people in the center and Gutter maybe in the back.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I think that's
Okay.
that's what I'd be doing.
So let's get an updated. So we have Io and Gwyn.
Yeah, and if we have to go single file, I think Gwen would have Io go first just because she knows he tends to be more perceptive than she is.
Cool.
Very fair.
All right. So I got Io, Gwyn. Gutter can see as well, but I would say, 2 eyes or 4 eyes. You know what I mean? 2 sets of eyes should be fine. It's up to you guys wherever you want. So who's after
I was
Gwyn?
thinking Gutter in the back just so that he could steady anybody who needs to be steadied.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
I'll be behind Gwen and I.
Okay.
And then maybe Siobhan in front of Yori just in case. Because she's the worst off, so she should be.
Where's Yori?
I mean, to a certain extent, it depends how Alistair just tied everybody up. But I kind of feel like he should be on the end. To not bring the thing into the area as soon as we get there, and also, I don't know, if he needs to fly or something like that, it might be easier for him to release himself if he was on the end.
So you want to be behind Gutter as the caboose?
That's the idea. Unless, Nolani usually has a pretty kind of strong I'm on the end thing. So if that's what he's feeling, then that might be
Nolani's gonna be in front of Gutter. He can't see or hear.
Yeah, I mean, imagine how terrifying this would be without. I mean, it's already terrifying, but like Io is this like anchor that at least you can hear some friendly voice. Like without that, like you can't. You can just feel people like. I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Io, Gwyn, Alistair, Siobhan, Nalani, Gutter, Yori. Sound right? Okay. As you guys continue forward, for this 60-foot stretch, I am going to allow you. So we're going to have everybody roll a dexterity saving throw. It's relatively low DC. Before you roll anything, you all have the ability to be able to give, on top of this, the help action to one of you that are either in front or behind. If you choose not to, you'll have advantage on this roll. So, Io, Gwyn, Alistair, Siobhan, Nalani, Gutter, Yori.
I'm giving the help action to Alistair. I have much higher dex than him.
Cool.
I'm giving the help action to Gwen. I know she's not good at physical stuff. Dex is actually something Io's pretty damn good at, so.
Cool.
Gwen would have to Alistair, but I don't think that you can do double advantage, so she'll just give it to Io and we'll even out.
Yeah. Trade it off. Yep. I would say you could also, I will allow in this instance, if you end up like keeping it for yourself and you get the help action from someone, I'd allow you to roll 3.
I'm giving the help to Siobhan in front of me.
Okay. You got it. I think it just makes sense. Gutter would give it to Yori.
Yori was going to give it to Gutter, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Sweet, gang. So just to be sure, just to be absolutely understanding, Io, you have 2. Gwyn, you have 2. Alistair, you have 2.
3.
3, because Siobhan's giving it to you as well. Siobhan, you have 2. Nalani, you have 1. Gutter has 2. Yori has 2.
I have 2 natural 1s in my dice tray right now.
Okay. Let's see everybody else's roll. If someone rolls a nat 20, it would cancel out one of those.
Okay, I gotta get the cat die.
Wow, are
What check are we rolling here? Is this
Dexterity saving throw.
Sorry,
save?
throws.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's an 8 total for me.
Okay.
16. A dirty 20. Sorry.
Okay.
15.
15.
17.
Is one of those no, that's a 19. That's definitely the one.
You rolled 2 nat
Oh
ones.
wait.
I rolled
one
2
second.
nat ones.
Why does your character
Unbelievable.
want to die so hard?
Seriously. Oh, and you're smack dab in the center. Oh my god, that's the worst person to roll in that one.
Nice.
Unbelievable. Okay. Did anybody? Okay, so we'll go through the list here. So Alistair,
15.
15. Okay. Nalani.
20.
Okay, and Io.
10.
I didn't roll for Gutter. Okay, this is where I really should have that dice cam set up.
And call Miranda down.
One of those was a nat 1. The other one was a 13. So.
It's my split gold die too. Once I got specifically for New Siobhan.
Okay, so there's some saving grace here, but it is truly based on which direction you fall. Siobhan,
Beautiful.
roll me a luck roll. You want an 11 or higher.
Hold on. Let me grab different dice.
Fair. Totally fair.
Alright. This is a really expensive labradorite dice. Come on. 16.
Okay. With a 16, Siobhan, you slip and you start to fall. As you, Alistair, you're able to grab hold of where you are, and everybody behind Siobhan starts to fall. So that's Nalani, Gutter, and Yori. Yori, you have ability to fly. So the key part here is that you have to find a way to be, or you have to roll essentially for this, to be able to lift Gutter and Nalani and Siobhan back up to safety. So if there's anything you have right now, now is the time for this.
Yeah,
I'm going to say fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my last charge of it.
Okay, cool. With the Giant's Might, I'm going to say, with Giant's Might, what do you get as far as like athletic stuff goes?
It's just advantage on athletics checks.
Fantastic. Cool. With Giant's Might, in general, because you are large, you are going to have advantage on that roll just because of the bigger, so the bigger ability to be able to kind of pick people up. But there's still 3. There's not 2. It would still be difficult on that. So I'm going to say the DC doesn't change, but you now have double advantage from this. What do you have in athletics?
I have a +7.
Cool. The DC's 20.
Okay. Well, I'm also gonna. I've been, taking damage this whole time, so I'm also gonna use Hrungnir's gift and use armor charges for this. So
You got it.
that'll be another +6. So we'll see here. Can you do
In this moment of panic,
just roll 3?
do I have the time at this moment to cast Lesser Restoration on myself?
Is it instantaneous? Is there a thing for it being instantaneous?
He rolled a 35.
No, that's the addition of all of them.
Oh.
I did roll a 19.
It is
So
instantaneous.
+7 is 26.
Okay. Yes. I'll allow.
+6 is 32. So I rolled a 32.
32.
Armor charges. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Guidance.
Go ahead and roll for guidance.
36. I got a
36.
4 on the guidance roll.
Jesus Christ, cool. With a mighty heave, you're able to pick everybody up. I'm gonna say with a 36, you're able to pick up everybody. You can't see, but Alistair, what are you healing? Your blindness?
I healed my blindness, yeah.
You got it. I'm gonna say, Yori, you cannot see, you cannot hear. You are picking up this, and you know that there's a vast. You know that when you looked up, there wasn't a lot around, so you knew that there's a big open space here. So you're able to hold everybody up in the air at this moment. Alistair can now see. Alistair, you can see right ahead of you where the platform is to be able to lay everybody down. So I'm going to say, Alistair, you can totally direct Big Yori where to place everybody down.
Yeah, I will somehow figure out how to communicate through Io to Yori, or try at least like grab his arm or his hand.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yep.
And kind of just guide him back to where we're at.
Oh, Io, you're not blind. I would say just for the sake of like simplicity, Io, you can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, the safe spot that we agreed to.
You got it. Io, as you do that, roll me an Arcana check.
Okie dokie.
You're all safe. You all made it. Good job.
Come on. I have
Holy crap,
proficiency in
Siobhan.
you, so please. Jesus Christ, every time with Arcana. Nat 1.
Okay. Fair enough.
Stop rolling that once, everyone.
Is this something Gwen could roll to?
Stop it. No, just
okay.
Io. Awesome. Okay, great. I'm going to say with a nat 1, you don't hear a thing besides Alistair yelling where to go, even though you are directing Yori. As Big Yori is like, it's taking a lot of work to carry everyone in this piece. So you're just kind of like, you're directing, and you so like, are you like full on like, okay, gentle. You guys fall into a heap in the center here, but you're safe. As you are close by here, I think there's a moment where it's like, if we just get to the end, we'll get an idea of what to do here on this. And so looking around, those that can see, I fully imagine like Yori and everybody else who's blind is just like yelling out, what do we see, right? So we'll take it from Gwen's perspective. Gwen, you look around, you see this like 20 by 20 sort of platform that you're standing on, that looks like it was almost like cut in half, and nothing. It's cut clean in half, but there's no signs, there's no markings, there's nothing even that's representing a story. Gwen, there's a point where I think panic fully sets in as you see there is nothing here. What if something fell off? What if something gave way? What if this is it? What if we're stuck here? What do you do?
I think the first thing is she would look up again to see if there's another platform above us.
You see at this moment, you look up and you see just the hint of like a further platform up. So is something missing? How do we get up there?
Like, how far up is it?
Like 500 feet.
5 still? Okay.
Yeah.
And nothing across. Like, it's just like nothingness ahead of us.
Just nothingness. And for the record, like, Yori got you all to hear barely.
Yeah.
Like it took, like, there's no way he'd be able to lift you all up to that realm.
Yeah. So I think out loud, knowing that only a couple people can hear her, she would say, there's another platform up. I can get up there, but I can't take everybody. And again, shouting. But at the same time, looking around, looking at Alistair, who seems to be able to see again.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And just looking for any sort of clue, or if there's no writing, there's nothing on the wall. Like, there is no walls, so.
I know we turned it off earlier because of the glowing rocks. If I were to try and let my basic detect magic come back, is it still blinding? And if not, do I see anything magical?
Yeah, you turn on your kind of magic detector sort of part of your brain, and you don't see anything here. I think what you do see is that even from the, you see that there's a reflection of what you can actually see is like a cave ceiling that seems to be reflecting this like very like interesting light blue off of whatever is up on that platform up above, but nothing in front of you.
I think she would also say, or we can sit here for an hour and I can summon Houston and send him up.
Maybe we should go to sleep.
We just
We
sit
can
in the
dream.
center of this narrow platform.
What if I use the mask? That's
Mask
kind
is
of
not
a
a
sleep.
solution to everything. He thinks
No.
It knocks me out.
I don't
I
think
love that you're yelling that. That's so great.
I love it too.
Knocks me out.
on winds of dreams.
I could
my
just
spirit
knock
source,
someone
and,
out.
You know. Yeah. Who's got the sleep spell?
I have a dagger hilt.
That's a sleep spell. Yeah, that's the
I love it. I
low-tech
love
sleep spell.
I'm very close to death. I can do these things. Whatever gets us through this.
So we've had to touch something in the past. So would we touch a sleeping person?
Is it a faith thing?
I mean, I think we need to, like Indiana Jones, where you throw sand up to see if there's an invisible staircase. You know, the legendary.
I mean, there's a
hero.
possibility. Like, you guys are pretty. You guys were kind of in the soot, so if you wanted to kind of do that, you could.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
got a bag
so
of
you just-
marbles, so.
Yeah, throw out nothing.
Okay.
Just goes.
Someone helps me see I can do something.
Okay.
Can you hear?
No, I'm just yelling.
No.
We can assume there's some amount of communication through IO, but yeah, not a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Does
And I'm
anyone have
like,
any food? I'm hungry.
I'm afraid
Push it
if
in
we
my
say
mouth.
the words, that's gonna make it. I don't know.
It didn't.
Something else might kill us.
What if
Nothing
I just
happened the
step
last
off?
time
I
we
mean,
said
I can
the word.
fly. I can just step off and see what happens, and if nothing happens, I just fly.
Sure.
I can fly as well. We could go together. She shouts.
You can see and fly, so that's slightly
Yeah.
better. But,
Yeah.
you know. But I'm not saying fly up. I'm saying take that step off, see what happens, and then as, you know, a reaction to what happens, either fly up or maybe take the step off and yell the words. I don't know, you know. It's that seems like a puzzly kind of faith thing that of course this is the worst dungeon I've ever been in. Above board, I love this dungeon.
No, I 100%. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah. Yeah, so you want to try and take that step?
We
have to
should
either,
probably
like, find someone
untie
to
ourselves first.
Oh
Definitely.
yeah, that's a good idea. As a DM, I should have thought of it. Like, oh no, you guys just full on. I'll say like, well, one thing is that like Yori, for you to step off and to see if you are able to just like magically like touch to a platform there. If you fall, like you said, you can fly, and it's just natural for you. For Gwen would have to spend a spell slot to do that. So I'm going to say, Gwen, do you do that?
No, it's not a spell slot. It's her literary gift. I just get a flying speed
I'm
in 10 minutes.
so sorry.
That's okay.
I'm so sorry. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
confusing, but yeah.
Limited
I will
uses at
use
all,
my
or
last-
Is it?
just
Yeah.
like
Is it a resource?
Yeah, I had one left, so I will use
So
that one.
so in that realm,
Yeah.
it's up to you. But you have
No, I'll
unlimited
wait to-
resources from that.
I'll wait to see what happens with Yori first. But he can't
So
see.
IO
I don't want him to go up
lets me know
alone.
what's going. Again, blind and deaf, stepping off of an edge.
I think
I think we
Very
should still
hard.
keep him tied to us, like above board, just like if only one person is going over, we have 7 people to pull him back.
Who's the
Unless it
next strongest
shoots me
person?
up, and then
Probably Milani.
If he's fairy sized, I
So-
imagine 7 grown adults can pull him back.
Sure. Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Don't
That's
count
fair.
Gwen in that.
At
But
least
okay.
Yeah,
He
depending
does.
on
I will
the length of
mention.
rope.
I will mention. He does have the heart.
Oh crap, that's right.
Maybe we have
Have
him,
him drop the heart
take the
temporarily.
off.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And the torch he still has, right?
Ooh. Yori.
Mhm.
Give me a sleight of hand check to see if you were able to keep the torch as you were grabbing to hold on to them to be able to cast Giant's Might.
Sure. 15.
Okay. Cool. You got it. So I think you recognizing that it does not burn, you were able to kind of like stick it into your belt and like, yeah.
One of my runes gives me advantage on sleight of hand, so that was helpful.
Awesome. Sweet. All right.
I think Io kind of thinking about this, he's like, okay, what if we tie little man to what if I tie you to something, little man, so you don't fall to your death, and then I kind of guide you, then the moment you kind of fall or something, be ready to pop your wings and fly? Maybe that could
Sure.
work for you.
I think you should
Yeah,
fly from the get-go.
let's do it though, because all this, if I'm gonna step off a cliff, I can't think about it anymore. I need you to let me just do it.
100% agree. That's yeah.
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 I think we're at the point where it's like, yeah, let's go ahead and take that risk.
You got it.
Yeah. The
Are you
anticipation is
are you
much worse
flying
than
from the
even if you
get-go?
can fly. Nope. I'm stepping
Oh
off.
God. Okay. Yep.
I'm stepping off, saying the words on Winds of Dreams, my spirit soars, and then if I fall, I'll feel that, and then I'll open my wings and try and fly up a little bit. Not a huge amount, just enough to stay where I am and kind of like you can guide me back at that point.
Okay, cool. Interesting. So you're tied right now to that's the thing? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right. I love this. That's great. Cool. So Yori, you feel yourself kind of like step on, you hear again those little pebbles like sort of like go off and then go into nothingness. So you're kind of at the edge. Go ahead and say it to me one more time.
If Io told us what he's doing, Siobhan would have put a python into the ground and looped her part of the rope around the python.
Okay, cool.
Just
I
in
love
case.
that.
I like
Yeah.
On Winds of Dreams, my spirit soars.
And then you just trust fall.
Yeah.
You got
I
it.
think I do that, like, just take the step.
Cool. As you say this, you feel your body start to fall. 5, 10, 5, 0, 5, 10. As you start to feel yourself kind of moving upwards, and you feel yourself getting very sleepy. At about 10 feet, that's when the rope gets tight. And you feel everybody like kind of like is like holding you back. Yori, what do you do?
How is the rope tied around me?
I think it's probably like maybe, I don't know, tied your
Yeah.
foot, your hand, you choose.
Yeah. Is Io still talking? And do I still have a link with Io? Is that a thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, then I just kind of think to him, I think you need to let me go. I'm floating up. It's okay. I can feel myself floating up. I'm also getting sleepy.
You're getting sleepy, and I think he actually says this. He's purposely says that out loud as he's also mentally
Okay.
communicating it.
Do you say it like that?
You're getting sleepy? Yeah, just like that.
Okay. You drop 5 feet down. So now you're 5 feet above. Just hovering. As you were asked a question. forcing a response.
Yes.
Aya, what do you do?
Don't say anything back to me. Just do what you were doing.
On winds of dreams, my spirit soars.
So you try to succumb to that sleep when you feel yourself start to drift up another 10. Or excuse me, another 5. You get caught at 10.
Yeah.
And is Siobhan
Okay.
blind as well as deaf?
I
Yep.
can't seem to get the point. Like, I'm gonna cut the rope.
Yeah,
With my hand.
No, you're getting sleepy. No.
You
I'm
cut the
gonna
rope?
give into it, but like I want to float up. Yeah, it's like it's if I
You
could
cut
just
the rope?
untie it, I would do that. But if I can't, sort of get it, whatever the easiest thing to do in that situation would be. Yeah.
I think the easiest thing would be to cut it. It's fine. And I'm not gonna count the length of rope that you guys have left. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah, you cut the rope
Mark it
and
down.
mark down the 2.5 feet or 2 feet. Okay. You see Yori cut the rope, and Yori, do you fully succumb?
Yeah.
Got it. You see Yori just float upwards. Those that can see.
I will shake Io's shoulders. What?
We've got no other way up.
No other way than what? You can't keep having these conversations and not including anyone. And that guy, there's a conversation come with him. What happened?
So, okay. And then I think...
Just say it.
Just say it.
So, what you gotta do, you gotta say the poem. On sweeping winds, my spirit soars.
Okay,
I probably...
tell everybody else to do that, please, so
Yeah.
we can...
Yeah.
I will say also, Alistair, you do see that there's a change now. You do see that there. It looks like there's like wisps of magic that seems to be kind of like moving upwards. You never seen anything like that in regards to like wind or anything like that.
And I think with that, yeah, I think Io probably is passing that message along to everybody. Hey, say the words and float
Okay.
up, succumb to sleep.
All right, one by one. You guys trust fall forward, and you start to move upwards. As you do so, here's the fun part. What do you guys dream about? So we'll go one after the other. Let's start because Yori was the first one to go. Yori, what are you dreaming about?
Can I roll a luck roll? There's two
You can do
things.
You can do it every. No.
Well, I'm gonna do it. I'm rolling a die because there's two different. I mean, you have good dreams, you have bad dreams, and I'm in complete darkness and isolation, and there's something. Yeah. So I'm dreaming of being buried.
Okay.
Not being able to see it all, being able to breathe somehow in the dirt, but not being able to hear and see, and just being buried when I was, very young and in the wilds.
Cool. You got it. As you are being buried, you hear this weird sort of like buzzing sound. It sounds mechanical. You can hear the laughter of fairies all around you as they're covering you. But down below, you can hear this. And in the darkness here, you manage to have like you're able to like flip your thumb and like all of a sudden light goes off. You're in a dream world. And you look down to where there should be ground and you see there's an actual tunnel. As you start to, there's a tunnel beneath you, you're going to probably fall, right? So as you start to fall down that tunnel, you grasp on to the vines that just happen to be there. And I think you start to climb downward, just closer to the noise. As you look down, you see, I'd say you get to about maybe 15 feet down to where you see that there is actually some sort of spinning object with sharp blades down below, almost like a blender, that looks like it is coming up towards you. What do you do?
I think he's frozen. Because of course that's scary, but the things above him, A, in his life he couldn't get out of that, and B, he doesn't want to go toward that, so he doesn't want to go toward anything. If anything, he tries to find another path that's not up or down, but yeah, like I think he's a little bit frozen between the two.
Yeah, you're in you're in your dream. Roll me a perception check.
14.
14. The 14, you see there is a pathway. You have to swing the vine over to be able to reach to it. Give me an athletics check to see if you get there.
23.
23. Excellent. You see this mechanical sort of metallic thing that is spinning around has seemed to chop up exactly where the vines are and seems to have now shifted into your direction and is moving towards you now. Where do you go?
I'm gonna go away from it. It seems dangerous and scary, and yeah, I think I'm gonna try and just go away from it.
Cool. You start to run past this thing, and it just becomes this very typical sort of dream as you're running away from something that is trying to gain on you. What is up ahead of you? What is your way out?
Flames, the smell of sulfur, and the sound of metal on metal ringing.
Okay, you got it. You see the fire start to kind of show off from the walls here. You know, if you're able to kind of duck straight through the flames and be able to get through and roll out, you'll be able to get to a safe room that you remember is now here, as you didn't remember it before. I need you to roll me a charisma saving throw.
That's a 9.
Okay. With a 9, you roll, but you feel your body start to get tugged onto one end as it gets stuck onto stuck onto like a branch that seems to be sticking out. You look back and you see that things come closer and closer and closer, and you wake up. You are now. How do I want to do this?
I only have so many senses left, Joe.
Sorry, man. You got to roll higher. You are now poisoned. We'll say you're dealing with the poison condition. I will say it's more of a mental sort of stress.
Yeah.
Actually, we could just say you suffer 1 point of exhaustion, because I think mechanically that works the same way, right? Yep. Yeah. Disadvantage on ability checks. We'll do that. I'll make it easier on you. You take 1 level of exhaustion. Okay. See, the rest of you kind of went in order here, so we'll just say we'll do it from the marching order. Let's have it be on something here. So now, Io, what are you dreaming about?
What Io's dreaming about is everybody here, including his idea of what Maeve would look like, as well as Eris, Alistair's parents. They're all sitting at the dinner table at his parents' house. See a blue tiefling woman and a mostly human-looking tiefling man walk in. These are Io's parents, and they're eating gumbo together. And then all of a sudden, you kind of start to see like the world just starts to tint in blue.
Okay. as you see this very nice elongated table, all your friends and family, people that you know if you were to wake up wouldn't make any sense on why they were here together, but they're all here enjoying the food as we see the tint of blue start to happen and we see water start to collect from the bottom of this room and starts to become higher and higher and higher. Right now it is waist deep. What do you do?
I try to basically get everyone's attention, say, hey, we got to go, and then
Cool.
try to usher everyone out.
You got it. Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. That is a 25.
25. With a 25, you start to be able to tell everybody, okay, we need to go, and you see them starting to kind of grab things from the table as like last bits of food. As you see the water kind of rushes over the table itself, they seem to know they're going, and they start to follow you. Where are you going?
We're going up the stairs. My parents' place is a 2-story house.
Cool.
Then we're basically trying to jump off and try to get some place of a vantage point, like trying to find a spare boat or something like that.
You got it. As you go up the stairs, you hear this crash as all of a sudden something seems to kind of come through and lands into the water. Then you hear this metallic whirring sound as you see it seem to push past the water, as it seems to almost work as a rudder, as it seems to quicken the water that is climbing up the stairs. What do you do?
I basically shout everybody start running and spread out, and I try to run in one direction. I'm pulling Eris with me. We're running away from this thing.
Cool. As you pull Eris, Eris is trying to kind of make her way through there, and you see her coat gets caught because the second you pulled her, she wasn't able to pull it away on time. It gets caught on the banister, and she, as you're pulling her, she says, "Stop! I'm caught. This is your fault. This is your fault. Just let me go for a second." What do you do?
I blast the part of her coat to separate it from what's snagging her.
I love that. Give me a spell attack.
Okay, that is a 13. Not that great.
Okay, the 13, you blast the part of the pedestal that she'd be able to grab onto to be able to kind of pull herself up and off that. She says, "Stop helping. I can do this. Just give me a second." Give me a charisma saving throw as you see the whirring get quicker and quicker and quicker. And it's right behind her.
Ooh. 13 again.
Okay. With a 13, you see she is desperately trying as you are yanking her, just not knowing what else to do on this, and she is fighting you all the way. And as she does so, she just pulls the thing off the banister and turns and looks, and you shut your eyes because you can't watch what happens next. So that's a fail. You are now suffering 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay.
Gwen, what are you dreaming about?
So I think Gwen is back in the previous chamber with the bubbles. And as she steps in, she looks behind her, and there's like 3 that she's gone through already. So we're kind of joining her mid situation. She goes into the next one, but instead of whatever we saw back in that chamber, it is just a vision of Beatty, and he is just there staring back at her. And she hasn't dreamt in a very long time, but I think we established before that she's a pretty lucid dreamer. But I don't think that she knows right now that she's dreaming.
Okay. You got it. So to clarify, you were in the room, then you look back and you see Beatty is there, or are you in the
bubble, and instead of seeing like the vision that we saw, I see a reflection of Beatty there.
I love it. Okay, cool. Yeah, I love it. For Gwen to have to dream, Gwen has to imagine something that was in her imagination and then has to imagine that.
Yeah.
I love that. Fantastic. So you are seeing Beatty looking down at you from on high with these books that are kind of like around their head. You failed. What use do I have for you anymore? As you hear him talk, hear them talking, you feel your skin start to become rough as Beatty continues to talk. You are just another page in my book now, and I am done with you. What do you do, Gwen?
So I think Gwen has been sort of, this is what she's been anxious about since the last time she's visited Beatty. And I think she gets a little bit frustrated. And I think she would say, well, what is the purpose of a library if not to expand knowledge? Not in one area, but all areas. What use are you to me?
Give me, what use are you to me?
Yeah.
Give me an intimidation check.
14.
14, okay. With a 14, you see him kind of like look back at this. It's clear to me that you don't understand what's at stake here. I have no use to continue to write in what is your life. And at that moment, you actually feel, you look down at your hands, and you see your hands are paper white. You look down, and you actually like flip your hand over, and you can see it's two-dimensional. At that moment, you hear this right from the ceiling. That ceiling that never seems to really end. You hear this as you look up and see this metallic whirring. It almost looks like a fan, but it's getting closer and coming down. What do you do?
I think she looks at her two-dimensional self, and I think she says, I am not someone else's story, and I think she flies towards it.
Okay. Interesting. You fly up, and as you do so, you see Gwen enjoys having the last phrase. As you fly up towards this thing, you see Beatty just takes off next to you and says, look, two-dimensional. As I thought your way would end. And you see at this moment, as you're doing that, Beatty themselves are just below. They don't seem to notice the fan coming towards you. What do you do?
So this is it gets kind of tricky in the way that dreams do. Like, but I think she instinctually knows that he said that because he knows, she knows, she knows. She likes to get the last word. So she's not going to say anything at all and continue up towards it.
I love that. No roll necessary for that. Give me a charisma saving throw.
20. Dirty 20.
20. Very nice. With a 20, you decide to end things on your terms in this dream, and you fly right into the thing, and everything goes black. Awesome. Alistair.
I would assume I think I would be just alone in my mind, just blank, nothing in particular. Maybe other Alistair is there, just yeah. I think it's his moment of rest. Like, but then he had an opportunity to dream something. It would just be a moment of rest at the moment.
Okay. You sit in a in the small library that you are able to enjoy, that seems to change into whatever you need it to be in that moment. Right now, it is a library. As you are sitting at the table, probably on the table, it's easier to be able to kind of rest your legs straight out. As you see the other Alistair also reading a book, kind of just like sitting across from you. You see all of a sudden just a paper starts to kind of fall from the sky. You see other Alistairs grab it and look at it.
What?
Oh no.
What do you have?
Nothing. It's okay. Just stay here. It's okay. Folds it
Hey.
up.
I mean, what was it?
It's
We
give me a
don't-
persuasion check.
8.
8. It's nothing. It's okay. I need to go handle something real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Would you like me to come help you? I can.
No.
Okay. It's just there's a lot going on, and I just needed a minute. But if you need help,
Give me an insight check with advantage.
well,
12. With a 12, you know when something's terribly wrong and you don't want to tell someone. That's the look you're seeing. No, it's okay. I will. We'll talk in a minute. Just
no,
wait
I'll,
here.
I can't. I can't afford anything to go wrong right now. Everyone needs our help, so let's just do this.
Okay. Well. Okay. Calm down.
I'm calm.
You look at yourself and you're standing. You don't remember standing up.
I'm calm, and this is. We just need to make sure everything is good, so that we can help Gwen and everyone get through this.
You see
Okay.
him wince when you say Gwen.
Yeah, she's still here. What do we need to take care of?
Nothing. It's okay. I can take care of it. Please just stay here. Stay where you are. Everything's going to be fine. Just stay here. You do not see metallic whirring. You hear it in your head.
What's the sound? What is that? That's new. That's
Alistair. Okay. Just relax. Okay. It's going to
why are you?
Okay, stay right there. Just stay there. As you see him reaching for the door, as you see that you are now looking down at him.
Where are you going? We need to figure this out together, right? The last time we tried to do this separately, it didn't work out.
Okay, all right, but I need you to calm down. Give me an athletics check, please.
It's a 15.
15. You see a giant purple arm come away from you and slam down into where Alistair is. That part, as your dreams and your brain are interconnected in a way that makes things not go to black, you see the remains of Alistair in front of you, and you see the page open up on the ground as you see a picture of Gwyn and a clear RIP underneath.
I think I'll try and find this. I mean, I would be in a panic. I would try and find the source of that sound.
Yeah. As you hear the whirring, you kind of grab your head, trying to figure out where that's going. And as you do so, you see your room around you is reflecting your current emotional state, as you see it start to kind of blip out in weird sort of spaces of purple, and you see scenes of what you like remember as blips and images of the separation between Hothir and yourself, and people's reaction towards you. You just see eyes after eyes after eyes. I need you to give me a charisma saving throw.
13.
13. The 13, you see the eyes seem to envelop and get closer and closer, and then start to full on go from you shut your eyes and all you can see are these images over and over again, and the whirring feels like your brain is going to break open, and you go to black. Siobhan.
So I thought a lot about with everything that's happened in the past couple weeks, she would dream about, especially in the darkness, because she's been blind and deaf for a while and almost fell off a chasm. I think she dreams of coming home to the apothecary in the dark, and she knows this. She knows what she's going to find in the other room. But when she runs into the other room, she sees Imur and immediately reacts, drawing the sword to stab him. But as she looks back up at his face with her hands like covered in his blood, it's Carter.
Okay, cool. First off, give me the athletics check in the beginning.
It's a natural 1.
Okay, great. That's great for you. You don't stab your husband. As you turn around and you see Amir kind of like hunched over on one side, the coat, the extended arms, facing away from you, but it's clear that it is Amir here in this moment. And you see as you go to stab, you go right across, and you see all of a sudden Carter's hands grab it. Whoa, honey, are you okay? You see him kind of take his hands and put them in yours, or sorry, takes your hands, put them in his. What's wrong?
You're dead. This isn't how it goes. It's not how it goes. I always am too late.
You still see, like, he has that same sort of hood. What? Oh, I see. Okay. You don't get it. Okay. Let's go of your hands. Well, let me show you. And you see him just change to a mirror.
I attack.
Okay. Go ahead and roll an attack roll again.
Oh, that's better. That's a... Public math is hard. 23 to hit.
23. You slice into where he is, and you see the cloak fall to the ground, and you see Carter kind of shows up in the doorway. Honey, are you okay? What was that?
He was here. I don't know. He was here. You were here. You're not here. You're not alive. This is a dream. This is...
Okay, hold on. Relax. Why don't you put the knife down? Okay. And you see him kind of walk towards you, and as he does so, you hear put the knife down changes to, why don't you put the knife down? As you see his face blip into view as Emir.
She's just gonna try to disengage and back away.
Okay, cool. Give me I'm gonna say give me an acrobatics check for that.
24.
24. Cool. Then acrobatics check, you end up flipping back out, like from the window. You kind of like fall back there, but are managed to able to kind of station yourself down to where you slide down to the ground, and you're on the streets of Eriscar. You see you see images of town folks that you remember from when you were- they all kind of come out of their houses at the same time, looking around and going, Siobhan, is that you? You now see there's other people that come across. You see Hadrian kind of peek through and go, Kara, is that you? You hear a whirring as you look up and see where the moon is. The moon seems to be spinning very quickly.
I think she's just gonna start trying to run away from the people she knows in the city.
You got it. Give me an athletics check.
23.
23. Nice. The 23, you just go, and you just like, you take off.
I'm sorry, athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics, I would say.
19.
19. Okay. With a 19, you're able to kind of like run past as you see you're kind of like ducking under, dipping through. As you're running through away from the people here, are you running out of town?
I think she's running to Alistair's house.
Okay, cool. Sweet. I love that. So you start to run towards Alistair's house. You see people start to kind of come out of the Mortimer Ludus. You see faces in the windows. You see Maeve, Carter, but then also Maeve and Carter and Maeve and Carter, and then Remy. And you see Amir walking out. They're all asking, are you okay? Are you... Wait, is that you? Is that you? You see the moon starts to get bigger and bigger as it seems like it's starting to kind of come towards you. You see Alistair's house in the distance. You're about maybe, at this point, I'd say you're about 50 feet away. What do you do?
Cunning action.
Cool. You're just like dashing?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. You got it. Yeah. Cunning action just straight up happens. You get to the door very quickly. Do you knock or do you wrench it open?
Alistair's room is on the second floor, right?
Yes, it is.
And was there any kind of like a terrace wall or no way to climb up to it?
No.
I have no clue what a terrace wall is, but...
like where you put the vines and stuff?
Oh, gotcha. I think, yeah, Clinton said no, so no.
Okay. Yeah, then she'd wrench it open and try to run upstairs.
You got it. You wrench it open, you run upstairs, you see... there's a moment where you can't help, just like in a dream, where you cannot help but look downstairs. You see in the kitchen, you see Alistair's mom looking at you going, are you okay? And then all of a sudden just seems to, before your very eyes, flip to a mirror. And that, as you see, drops the tray of cookies and pulls out a dagger as they start to run towards you. You run up the stairs, run to Alistair's room, and you fling open the door. Give me a perception check.
16.
16. With a 16, you see Alistair's huddled over to one side, looks over at you and goes, whoa, what are you doing here?
She's gonna shut the door and bar the door and try to move the bed in front of it.
Cool. You got it. You move. Go ahead.
Go. No, go.
I was gonna say you move the bed in front of it. In this part of the dream, I'm gonna say just because it's funny and wacky, and that's really how dreams work. All of a sudden, you can move a bed like no problem. Like you just move it right across there, right? And as you flip back, you see Alistair fully stands up and goes, "Good. I didn't want you to escape anyways." You see just as his body slowly turns into the purple monster that you fear more than anything. Give me that charisma saving throw.
14.
14. Okay. 14. You are not able to get out from the door fast enough as you feel Hothier grab you by the back of the collar and pull you into it, and you fade to black. And last but not least, Gutter deals with the same thing, but I can handle that in my own time. Nalani.
Nolani finds himself in a room that he recognizes as part of the cottage. He thoughtfully pulls a bacon cookie out of his pocket and is nibbling on it when he recognizes some voices from the other room. One being his uncle Javier, the other being what he recognizes as the sultan looking guy with the wrap around his head,
Mhm.
and he's back in that moment where he fled before. And he
Okay.
decides not to as he opens the door and fires an arrow straight into the room.
Okay. Give me an attack roll, please.
That is a 14. Do you want the modifier?
Nope. With a 14, you wrench open the door and immediately fire. As you do so, you realize in a horrific moment as you see the individual that had that hat on seemed to have been giving it to Javier. In this moment, Javier was actually had put it on his head as you turned and fired at him. You see it go right across his neck. Blood splurts out onto the wall beyond there. As you see, someone looks over at you and goes, "There you are." You see your uncle fall to the ground. What do you do next?
I run towards him. And put my hand over the wound, trying to stop the blood.
Okay, cool. Give me an acrobatics check to basically get away from the grapple of this figure that would get in your way.
Acrobatics, 16. That's a 23.
23. Nice. Cool. You manage to kind of like duck right under the grass. You grab the wound and you see this as you're holding that in. Sorry, gang, I'm finishing up Steinhardt's this week, I promise. As you're seeing the blood start to kind of escape from the neck, and you see Javier looking at you. The hat has fallen to the side. You see, you hear this. You hear the other figure that was wearing the hat yells outside, "Okay, well, we're going to do this the hard way, so go ahead and bring him in. And you hear this as you're trying to kind of like, I think maybe in this moment, like try to like heal your uncle. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got out a med kit. I'm trying to put bandages on it, just try to stop the blood, do whatever I can.
You know a med kit's not going to make it in time. I think you even like in this dream, you even know that, right? Yep. So you think in your head, like, I am magic. I can do this. Right? Give me an Arcana check, actually.
A 8.
Cool. You see like he your uncle kind of grabs your hand to kind of like even like steady it and like looks at you, and you can see life is starting to kind of leave his eyes. You now know it's way too late, as you hear the whirring kind of getting louder and louder, and you hear this like buzzing sort of sound as it seems like whatever it is trying to get through the door. You hear barking from Pedro, just barf, 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 at the door.
Do I see any gnolls? There were gnolls there, if you remember.
Yeah, not in this moment. You look around, you don't see any gnolls. You think that's odd.
I yell, Pedro!
Yeah, Pedro comes right to your side. You have to pull him back because he starts to kind of like lick up the blood that's on the ground. Because dogs.
Yeah. I think I just kind of grab him by the scruff of his neck and try to go back through that door into the room, away, knowing that the uncle is like dead.
You got it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you give one last look at your uncle as you grab Pedro and you run into the room. As you bust through from the door, you go to maybe like slam the door shut. Give me an athletics check to be able to bring something bring something out to be able to kind of bar the door in.
12.
12. Cool. You start to bring something in. You feel the door bust wide open as you hear the coming in, and you can hear a shouting over as as that Sultan-looking being looks around and goes, "Yes, over here. This door over here." And you see the open doorway as this whirring thing comes closer to you. You don't have enough time to bar the door at this moment as it comes closer and closer to you. Go ahead and give me that Charisma saving throw.
Nat 20.
Nat 20, cool. With a nat 20, you just manage to kind of push the dresser into that thing, breaks up. You see it kind of clogs into that space there, and you jump out the window, and everything fades to black. You do not take a point of exhaustion.
Do I take the dog?
You don't take the dog either. I'll say in the end of the dream, you take the dog. But yeah.
At what level were we supposed to take point of exhaustion?
Just one. It's one level.
Mm-hmm. What was the DC?
Oh, sorry. Everybody who rolled above a 15. For the charisma saving throw. Yeah, which I think was... I don't think anybody got it except for Nalani.
Gwen did.
Gwen did. Okay, cool. You got it. That's right. Yeah, because you decided to end it on your own terms. That was great. Cool. You got it. Cool. I'm going to say Gwen
awesome,
because...
Joe. Very awesome.
We're still in it yet. We're not done yet. Everything's a dream. I'm just kidding. No.
Just wake up back at the beginning of the dungeon.
You guys wake up yeah. Remind me to tell you my favorite scary movie after this. Cool. So you guys, Gwen, you decided to end things on your own terms. So I think because of that, you were the first to wake up. As you wake up, go ahead and give me a perception check.
11.
Cool. With an 11, you kind of like blink and you can see, you look around as you're lying down, you kind of like pull yourself up and you see that you must be on this platform that was up above you. And you see that right next to you, whirring in the breeze is this little mechanical, not mechanical really, this little like paper fan that had greeted you as you were coming up.
Oh, that's cute.
As you see it, you see the rest of your party start to wake up as you see an interesting creature leaning over Io. This creature seems to have fins over the side of its face, these weird sort of wings that are extended. This creature's rather small. I'd say maybe no bigger than like 2 feet tall. You see wings that are kind of extended out in the back, and it looks kind of like it's swimming no matter where it's at. Its body seems to be moving by itself as it's leaning over Io. Io, you hear a voice in your head before you even wake up. Keeper of the Shard, please, awaken. And you look up to see a very interesting face looking back at you.
What?
And with that, we are going to end tonight's session. See you guys next week. Bye.